Hello and welcome everyone to Pine Tree Pirate Football on the internet on YouTube. I'm Randy Johnson. Alongside me is Brett Conway, my color analyst, and my engineer extraordinaire, Todd Yawn, for Pine Tree Pirate Football, where tonight the Pine Tree Pirates play host to the Lindale Eagles in 9-5A Division II play in a game that has big playoff implications, not so much for entering the playoffs, but where they're going to be seated. And, Brett, it's going to be a big matchup tonight for the Pirates. The number one offense in the district statistically against the number one defense in the district statistically in the Lindale Eagles.
There we go. Yes, it is. And it's going to be an interesting game tonight. See how the matchups go. See how last week's game is over, but we want to see how Pine Tree comes out and reacts. What they're going to come out with defensively is going to be key tonight. Lindale does have a couple of good kick return men as well as in the backfield, so it's going to be they're going to have to be on point all night tonight. As you say, big implications, especially for Lindale. You know, we look at the top four teams. We're looking at Marshall, Pine Tree, White House, and right now Lindale. A few things could happen, but I think we agree that those are going to be the top four representing this district after the season.
That's generally the general consensus around the area on a couple of websites that I frequent, like Smoky.com. A young man, I won't give his real name, but he goes by MavChamp, and he's really, really good at the prognostication part of it all. And he's picking his Mavericks to win at White House tonight. They're like a 3-point favorite according to Dave Campbell, Texas Football, where here Lindale is a 1-point favorite in that website from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. That is actually Matt Stepp and the crew that do the rankings now during the season. And those are the two big games in the district. Clearly, number one, the battle at Wildcat Stadium in White House, where the Mavericks are on a 5-game win streak, just like the Wildcats are, and that's a big tussle there.
It is, but I'm going to go against them. I'm going to say White House wins tonight by at least 6.
Wow.
I think they have turned the corner as last week. You know, we saw that with their quarterback and especially their defense. And I think Marshall's going to have their hands full tonight. I don't necessarily agree with Lindale being a 1-point favorite. I think Pine Tree more or less a 5 or a 7-point favorite.
Well, you got to understand these guys that are making these predictions are in the Metroplex or in Waco. Actually, Matt Stepp lives in Lewisville, Texas, and he's on frequently through podcasting and all on the Dave Campbell Texas website, because he is one of their. I mean, he has his own. He's got Max Preps and he's well known nationwide. He's been doing it a long time. I met him, in the late '90s, and he's been at it. He's younger than me, but he's been at it a long time. He's pretty good. He picked Longview, for example, last week to win by 53, and they won by 55. And now they're like a 37-point favorite over at Lobo Stadium tonight, but that's a different ballgame in Class 6A. In this district, the winner of that game, I'm thinking Marshall will win because they have a little more athleticism. I thought Pine Tree would win last week, and that zone read is really hard. It's hard to coach, but it's even harder to defend if you don't play good assignment football. And we saw that last week. And the quarterback ran for almost 300 yards, and he has 780 on the season. So he had his all-star game, and he was very, very good.
That's true, and that was one thing that was mentioned after the game, that was the first time that he had really made that transition into that play. And that was the difference, along with their linebacker that was in the back pockets just about all night. Excellent player.
Yeah, he was. That's Jack Clark. He's all district for sure. The other two games besides this one here, we've got Hallsville traveling, the Nacogdoches playing for Pride, and we also have Jacksonville. The Indians are on the road, I believe, at Mount Pleasant. And so that's the 4 battles tonight in District 9-5A Division II.
Let's see, I believe Jacksonville is at home tonight.
Yeah,
Mount Pleasant. But that's an interesting matchup,
right.
and Jacksonville is 1-4, and we talked about the top 3 teams in the district being White House, Marshall, and Pine Tree.
Then Lindale plays them next week.
Lindale plays them next week, and Lindale coming in at 3-2. It's pretty good assurance that the Cochran brothers have told Lindale that their path to the playoffs is going to be tonight, especially, and then next week if they don't get through tonight, because Jacksonville, they haven't played Jacksonville yet. And just by the numbers, I know we kick this around a little bit and we give each other a hard time, but there is an outside chance.
Yes.
It's a small outside chance. The magic number for making the playoffs right now tonight is 4, and we have 3 teams that have 4 or more. Lindale is at 3-2. If they come out of here 3-3, they go into Jacksonville. Jacksonville has an opportunity.
They have to win
beat
tonight
them
against Mount Pleasant.
That's correct.
On the reservation at the Tomato Bowl.
That's correct. If they lose and they close up their teepees, if they lose, then it's a different story.
All right, we're going to go down here in a moment and my interview with Coach Kerry Lane. Here we go. Hello and welcome, everyone, here to Pine Trees Pirate Stadium. I'm Randy Johnson, pregame, speaking with head coach Kerry Lane. Coach, tonight you host the Lindale Eagles. And tell us a little bit about your team and the attitude throughout the week after that loss last week, Coach.
Anytime you lose a game that you really don't feel like you should have lost and we didn't play real well and didn't obviously prepare real well, my message to the team was always just don't let them beat you twice. Come out and play again. Let's refocus. And we did. We've had a good week of work, and the kids have been ready to go every day, and they kind of got their hunger back.
You had a little illness issue last week. We learned later in the week. You got a lot of those kids back this week?
Yeah, we did. And still a couple. It's that time of year, and everybody's sick, I think, in East Texas this time of year. So we had a little this week. Last week we had a lot now. We had a bunch, and so, but that's everybody else does too. You got to battle through it. So we're a little healthier this week.
Well, that's good. You're facing a team that's got a pretty good running game, but their defense is number one statistically in the league, and you're the number one offense. So tell us what you're expecting a little bit about the Eagles tonight, Coach.
They're a well-coached football team. They're going to be in the right spots, and they're not going to beat themselves. And Coach Cochran and his staff, they've been there for a while, and they do a good job, and their kids believe in what they do. And they do. They got a really good back, arguably one of the best in the district. And so it obviously all starts around stopping him. And defensively, like I said, you're going to have to win your one-on-one matchups because you're not going to get free too many times.
Coach, well, this game comes down to seedings. You're all in the playoffs, so at least you and Lindale are both qualified. So seedings-wise, I don't know if you're not looking ahead. You're looking only at tonight. But what do they pose to you in terms of their ability defensively? Are you going to do anything different offensively that you've done all year?
I mean, every game we come in with a few wrinkles, a couple of things to, either break tendencies or to attack, kind of what they do. And they're pretty similar the way they line up to White House. And so we'll have kind of, some of the same things in place, but we always each week kind of figure out the guys we want to attack and then add wrinkles on to kind of what we do.
Anything different on special teams we might see this week in your punting game, for example?
Oh, yeah, we're going to not punt in the back of our linemen. We're going to start with that. So we've worked on that this week, and, DJ's done a really good job all year with that. And, we'll chalk that up to him kind of being under the weather last week. So we'll get hopefully we won't punt too many times, but when we do, we'll execute a punt the right way.
Well, that's good, Coach. This is a big game tonight. It's senior night. Anything special happened this week? Obviously, senior night's a big night here at Pine Tree and everywhere.
Yeah, no, you just always, anytime you get a chance to honor kids that have been through the program for 4 years and put a lot of work into it and have been really dedicated, you want to do that. We have 19 walking across tonight with their parents, and so it's a good night for Pine Tree. It's a good night for this community.
Excellent, Coach. Well, I won't keep you any longer. We're just about 45 minutes from game time. Thank you very much. We'll be right back for the national anthem. You're listening to Pine Tree Pirate Football. We're just a moment or so away from the national anthem. This is Randy Johnson. It's senior night at Pine Tree. I might have failed to mention that. I mentioned it during the interview with Coach Lane, but it is senior night, and they're representing, and they're obviously sending out kudos to all the seniors, drill team, band, you name it, and the football players. There's 19 Pine Tree Pirate seniors on this squad this year. And we're just a couple of minutes away from the national anthem. We're waiting for the Eagles to enter the field. The Pirates have been standing on the sideline a good 5 minutes, and the guests are leisurely taking their time coming through their tunnel, and they're still not out of it. And we are actually at 7:25 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Longview, Texas, at the Palace on the Loop, the Pine Tree Pirates' home. And got anything to say there, Brett?
A lot of kids that have a lot of things to do with the stadium. That's what senior night is about. Not only the football team, but also you have the cheerleaders, you have the drill team, you also have the band. And there are also some people that make things work in the stadium. They've got students down below us on the second level. And we don't want to forget the culinary arts kids that take care of everybody upstairs.
That's right. Well. They cook up a good meal at halftime and during the game. And here come the Eagles onto the sideline. And we're just a moment away, and I'll bring down our sound. We'll leave up the natural sound as you can hear across the way as a Lindale band plays the Eagle Fight song, and everybody's getting ready for the national anthem momentarily. So with that, we'll listen in, and then we'll be ready for the kickoff in just a few moments of Lindale at Pine Tree here on YouTube. And you're listening to Pine Tree Pirate Football.
In our own way, remember our country, our students, and the men and women who have served to help and protect us in our communities and around the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please remain standing and turn your attention to the flagpoles in the north end zone for the playing of our national anthem, performed tonight by the Pine Tree Pride Marching Band under the direction of Aaron Turner.
And we're back audibly here at Pine Trees Pirate Stadium. Randy Johnson alongside my color analyst Brett Conway for Pine Tree Football. Just a moment or two away from kickoff. I'll go over the starting lineups for the homebound senior night football team for Pine Tree. Along the front on the offensive line, the only senior that starts on the offensive line is Jadarlin Key. He's 6'6", 335. You can't miss him. Big number 78. Number 51 is the left tackle, Joseph Monk. He's a 6'2", 215-pound junior. Christian Contreras is the junior center. He's 6', 215. Christian Webb is 6'1", 245. He's a junior right guard. And Cole Salazar, number 56, is the right tackle. We're fixing to have the coin toss. Here's the rest of the offensive alignment for the Pirates. J.J. Sparkman's number 1 at left split end. Gabe Adams is in the slot a lot of times. He's number 11. The tailback or running back is Tyler Sheffield, junior. Junior quarterback D.J. Freeman, number 5. Number 4 is Torrell Collins. He's also a junior. He's the split end, tight end, wing back. And then Nakima Williams is a junior, number 8.
Has won the toss and deferred to the second half.
And you can hear that loud and clear. The refereeing crew. That is referee Wesley Hall from Tyler, Texas, the Tyler football officials. He's the referee. The umpire is Vincent Williams. The head linesman is Jeremy Gunnels, Gunnels. The line judge is Kelly Talent, Tallant. I know a lot of Talent fans and family. And the back judge is Jamal Batee. So Lindale has won the toss and deferred to the second half. They'll be kicking off. Pine Tree will be on offense first to start this ball game. And we'll see that number 1 statistically rated offense against the number one defense in the league tonight.
Reminded to remain in the stands except for using concessions and restrooms. Any student roaming
Are we up
loitering
on the screen? Thank you very much. I turned around a minute ago and you weren't there, so I was just. All right. And it sounds really good. It's excellent. Excellent. Oh, that's all right. We got great crowd mic, and you need that ambiance on a broadcast. It is an element that is of utmost importance. Some schools around here don't use it at all, and they sound like they're in a box. And at any rate, I won't say who they are. And it's really anyway. Back deep is Gabe Adams, the senior, number 11, and Keelan Turner, the junior, number 6 for Pine Tree. Pine Tree is going to be going from north to south here at Pirate Stadium. Landon Love will kick off for the Eagles. So here we go. Pine Tree is in blue tops, gold numerals, white helmets with the Pirate sword insignia PT on their helmets. Lindale is in all white. There's a pooch kick to the far side. Fair catch is by Nakima Williams. He drops it but falls on it at about the 35-yard line, and that's where the Pirates will start here on offense in the ball game. 7:32 p.m. is the kickoff time, and here we go.
First down, Pirates.
DJ Freeman will bring out his offensive troops. They run a one-back set. They'll go 3 wide or 4 wide. And it's senior night here at Pine Tree, and J.J. Sparkman and Gabe Adams are 2 of the seniors, along with Jadarlin Key. There are 8 underclassmen on the offense for the Pirates. Trips near side, 1 wide, far side is J.J. And he hands off immediately to Tyler Sheffield. He's hit in the backfield for about a 3 or 4 yard loss as Lindale just purged forward. And it's going to be a 4-yard loss on first down.
Looking for the run on that time, and they covered it very well. Not anywhere to go on that first set. Really thought they'd come out and pass.
Loss of 4 on a running play. Leading the league on offense is the quarterback, DJ Freeman. He has 950 yards rushing and 1,700 yards passing. Sheffield is number 2, rushes just a shade under 900 yards. Play action pass throw. It's complete at the 40. Coming outside is Gabe, and he's got the first down at about the 44-yard line. He's going to be a little short. The official on the near side marks him out about 1.5 yards short, so it'll be 3rd and 2 upcoming for the Pirates.
Excellent play, quick, short pass out to the right side. You know, when Pine Tree tends to use that little quick offense, they're very successful, and it looks like they're going to be the same way tonight.
That was play action. He came near side when Adams was in the slot, a gain of 11. It's 3rd and 2 at the 43. DJ, quarterback draw. He's going to pick up the first down and more. He drags a couple of Eagles up to near midfield, and that's where they'll mark it. First down for Pine Tree on the 3rd play of the current possession. Gain of 4. Actually, a gain of 7 for DJ. First down of the ball game. Pirates traveling from north to south. A very cool evening. We're going to be in the 40s during this game. I'll double check the temperature in a moment. It reached 58 degrees here in Longview today. There's a fake, and rolling left side is DJ. He's got the 45, the 40. He's got another first down, and it's a pickup of 15 yards to the 35-yard line. Back-to-back rushing plays for DJ are positive for 7 and 15.
Number 1, J.J. Sparkman out there in front, leading the block out there for him.
1st and 10, Pine Tree at the Lindale 35-yard line. First possession of the game, 10:40. Clock is stopped as he went out of bounds in the first quarter. Back to pass, looking over the middle, going deep. He's got the receiver up, and it's a catch, and it's a touchdown for J.J. Sparkman. J.J. Sparkman, 35-yard touchdown reception from DJ Freeman. Pine Tree is up 6-0 pending the extra point.
That was a great read. That was a mismatch over there on the left side, and they picked it up on the last play, and he just got behind him, and there was no way he could get there.
And a nice pass, as you mentioned, 6'4" against 5'11" or 5'10", and no way could he cover him. Here's Brant Herber on the kick. Thomas is the holder. It hits the upright, and it is no good. He shanked it to the right, and so the PAT fails. But Pine Tree scores in 1:28 on a 5-play, 65-yard drive. The last 35, the touchdown pass, DJ Freeman to J.J. Spartman. The score, Pine Tree 6, Lindale nothing. You're listening to Pine Tree Football.
Head down the field to kick off for the Pirates, number 15, Brant Herbert.
So Pine Tree scores on their first possession of the ball game. 5 plays, 65 yards in a minute 28. It's at 10:32 first quarter. The Pirates strike first. The extra points need to go off with a hitch. The snap looked good. The hold might have been a little off, and Herbert just kicked it hard right from north to south. It hit the upright, and it bounced back no good. So he's kicking off. Pine Tree will be on defense momentarily, up 6-0 on their first possession. But that's what you want to see out of your offense. And if they're the best statistically, they're going to have to put it on tonight. High kick deep. It's going to be received at the 13-yard line by number 22, racing out right. He gets a couple good moves, makes a couple more, and he's caught from behind finally and brought down at the 39-yard line. Nice return for Whitehouse. I'll double-check that gentleman real quick.
Number 22, Caleb George, in on the tackle on that one. It was number 22 on the return.
And that's Jordan Jenkins, their star running back. He comes in at just a shade below Tyler Sheffield in the league, and he's about 783 yards, I believe. Sheffield comes in, 873, and Sheffield comes in at 897. So they go with a full block set, man in motion. They hand to him on a small little sweep, and he picks up about 2 yards. They had it marked at the 38. It is 2nd and 8 coming for the Eagles.
Lindale also going with a hurry-up offense out early, but Pine Tree able to move over and make the tackle over on the left side.
2nd down and 8. Their quarterback is a sophomore. They use 2 different quarterbacks, and Peterson is in to start. He's number 17. He's tall, very noticeably 6'3", about 180, right-hander. Man in motion is the end from left to right. Play action pass, rolling near side, got a man open or tries to throw it, and it's caught. Wow, what a nice catch by number 20 out there for Lindale. Dylan Worrell with the catch and a first down just into Pine Tree territory. A pickup of 11 yards and a first down for Lindale, their first of the ball game.
Good concentration on Worrell to stay with the ball and actually diving and sliding for a few yards to make the catch.
And Greg Kalula was there, and I thought he had a paw on it, but it was still caught by the end. There goes Jenkins right side. He's hit after a gain of about, let's give him 3 yards to the 46-yard line in Pine Tree territory. Ryan Livingston with the first hit. 2nd down, 7 upcoming. Lindale traveling from right to left or south to north here from our vantage point at Pirate Stadium, the Palace on the loop, Pete's Palace, as they affectionately like to call the head Pirate here at Pine Tree High School. 2nd and 7 for the Eagles. Man in motion. He's going to sit back at the tailback slot or halfback, and that is Jenkins. Peterson goes right. He pulls it down, and there's a couple of Pirates there to meet him.
That was number 23 there on the tackle. Colton Munoz coming in, tracking the quarterback.
Mooney, as they affectionately call him, his motor never stops running. He beat the tackle and got to the quarterback Peterson for a 3-yard loss, so it's 3rd down and 10. And this is the kind of situation you want to have the Eagles in. They're better running the ball typically, but they can pass too. But it's 3rd and 10 at their own 49 for Lindale. Ball at the Pine Tree 49, 3rd and 10. They have twins near side, and one of those is Boyette. Back to pass Peterson. Over the middle. Throws. It's over the intended receiver. That is number 7 out there for Lindale. Christian Wood goes over his outstretched arms, and it's going to be 4th and 10. And it looks like the Eagles will apparently have to punt.
Looks like the Eagles bring out their punt team.
Back deep for Pine Tree is going to be Gabe Adams, I do believe, once he turns and shows me his uni, and he's going to be at about the 15, and that's a senior, 6'1", 180. He's got one offer out there that I've been told of, and it's from the New Mexico State Aggies. It's a good snap. Punter booms it straight down the field And he's going to let it go, and it goes out of bounds, actually. No, it's going to stay in the field of play. It's going to roll dead at about the 10. Still rolling. 10-yard line. That's a 39-yard punt by Colton Beeler, the punter for the Lindale Eagles. And Pine Tree takes over at their own 10, leading 6-0.
Another excellent punter in the district. He's averaging right at about 35 on a punt.
They're going to mark it at the 10, and Pine Tree will take over there at their own 10-yard line, leading 6-0. 7:46 remains first quarter. You're listening to Pine Tree Pirate Football here on YouTube. I'm Randy Johnson. Alongside me is my color analyst, Brett Conway, and producer, well, engineer extraordinaire, as he likes to be called, Todd Yon. Wow, HN, big guy. Here we go. Twins far side, one back set. They give it to him. That's Sheffield. He cuts inside. He's got room. He's at the 30. He's at the 40. He's at midfield, and he's run out of bounds at the 41-yard line. What a nice run for Tyler Sheffield. 49 yards on the first down carry.
Excellent run, excellent timing. He's seen number 7, Christian Wood, come up behind him. Managed to get a few more yards out before stepping out of bounds. Great decision, great run.
They're going to mark him out at the 41. So from the 10 of his own 10, that's 40 plus 9. He can do easy math, 49 yards on the run, Professor. First and 10, Twins far side. DJ keeps it, cuts back in. He's going to be caught in the backfield and a loss of about 3 as swarming to the ball. The white-clad, blue numeraled with silver eagles on their helmet, Lindale Eagles, parking back for a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, they're keying up on that play. Number 15, Jaden Garrett, coming across and making the tackle for Lindale.
A loss of 2, so instead of 3, it is second down and 12 from Lindale's 43-yard line. Got the matchup again on top. We're going to see if they're going to go that way. It's a delayed draw. There goes DJ. He's quick. He's getting around the end. He's at the 40, 35, 30, close to the 30. Forced out of bounds and hit late, and there's the flag. And it's going to be a late hit out of bounds. You're going to add 15 to it. He got right to the marker. Let's give him 13 on the carry to the 30. It's going to be half a distance to the goal. Pine Tree will have the ball coming up. What appears to be a late hit at the 15, more than likely.
Yeah, stepped out of bounds that time, was clearly out of bounds, and the defender for Lindale just came out and just really put a shoulder in him solid. Great run by DJ on the way.
First penalty of the game. Let's see it marked off. Wesley Hall, the official from the Tyler chapter. And it's going to be at the 15-yard line for the Pirates. First penalty of the game is a big one. Personal foul. So it's a 13-yard run for DJ. He's got a couple big runs in the game. One of 7, one of 15, and now one of 13. So he's only about 15 yards or so from 1,000 on the season by my count. Twins near side, one wide left, far left side is JJ. Delay handoff to Sheffield. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage and be hit there. Maybe about a half-yard loss. It'll be second down and 11, call it from the 16.
It's that number 1 defense against a run working out pretty well right now for Lindale, but they still have that matchup you mentioned up on the top with Sparkman. We'll look to see if he goes that way.
Because that's a little guy up top. That's about 5'8", maybe. He's not very tall. And, of course, JJ is 6'4", 215, and he is good. Twins near side are Gabe and Nakima. Delay handoff, no pass. It's caught. It's Gabe. It's a touchdown. Pine Tree. 16-yard touchdown pass. DJ Freeman to Gabe Adams, and the Pirates go up 12-0. Let's look for them. They're going to kick the extra point or go for 2. They're going to kick it. Here's Herbert, and here comes Corey Thomas Jr., the holder, the backup quarterback. The left footer hit the upright the last time. Snap is down, kick up, and it is good this time. So with 6:10 remaining in the first quarter, Pine Tree has jumped out to a 2-score lead. Pine Tree 13, Lindale nothing. You're listening to Pine Tree Football. Resuming play, we'd like to thank a lot of our great sponsors of Pine Tree Independent School District Athletics. Start with Longview Regional Med Center for the beautiful scoreboard to the south end of the stadium. Also, Patterson Nissan on 259. Texas Bank and Trust has numerous locations in the Longview, East Texas area, and a few others will tout off during the broadcast. That was a 4-play, 90-yard drive in about a minute 30. There's the kickoff. It's a pooch, and Lindale's going to get a good return into Pine Tree territory to about the 47-yard line. It was a pooch kick to about the 38. Eric Williams, A-I-R-I-K Williams, the returner, picked up about 18 into Pine Tree territory.
Missed coverage on that kickoff. It was a great kick, but Pine Tree outrunning the kick and just couldn't find it as he was looking back.
He's one of their top return men as well to go along with Jenkins. And Jenkins is a big old boy. Jenkins exactly. We'll go to his numbers here momentarily. One back set, the quarterback keeps it, and he's got a great running room. That's Peterson. He's down the far sideline and finally brought out of bounds at about the 19 or 20-yard line. That's a 26-yard gain for Peterson, the starting sophomore quarterback for Lindale.
Looked like Caleb George catching up with him, making the tackle on that play to save a touchdown at the 20.
Jenkins is their running back. He is 5'11", 190 pounds, and he's a senior. But their quarterback starting is number 17, and he's Peterson. Well, I'll give him his first name, too. It's Sam Peterson, a sophomore. He's a DB and a quarterback. They have twins the far side, one wide receiver near side with Jenkins next to Peterson. Man in motion, settles in at end. Well, he goes one way, and his quarterback has to eat the ball, and he's going to lose a couple on a busted play. The quarterback would go ahead.
I was going to say, slowed up there. Colton Munoz coming in first and getting him from behind, and then the Pirates coming back on him to finish the tackle.
Loss of 2 yards to the 21. It's second down and 12. Upcoming for the Eagles here as the clock rolls under 5 minutes in the first quarter. Pine Tree 13, Lindale nothing, but Lindale knocking at the door. Twins near side, one back set is Jenkins next to Peterson. Actually twins both sides. This time they handed him up the middle. Plows forward for about 5 yards to the 16. Number 22. Actually, that is 23 is Eric Williams. 22 is Jordan Jenkins. That's Jordan Jenkins on the run. The PA announcer's a little bit ahead, and he's off a numeral with that one, Mr. Bonamy. There we go.
Numbers are important.
Numbers are crucial.
Numbers are very important.
We are both numbers guys. We know for sure. Twins near side. Actually, they're going to send a man in motion. They're going to have trips near side. On third down 6 upcoming for the Eagles. Now he goes back in motion. They're going to hand it to him. No, yes, he does. That's outside. That is Boyette. He's close to the first down, and they're going to mark him right at the sticks. It's probably going to be a first down if it's right at the 10, and I believe it is. 4:06 in the first quarter, 13-0 Pine Tree up as they have scored 2 consecutive possessions to start the game. It's first and goal for Lindale at the Pine Tree 10.
Number 22, Jordan Jenkins, again making his presence known up there with the key block to allow them just past to get the first down.
Here live from Pirate Stadium on the West Loop in Longview. Trips near side. The quarterback fumbles the ball and has to eat it and fall forward right back to the line of scrimmage. Several players there. Munoz is one of them. He leads the way. And Daniels Jr., the sophomore, in the ball game now, and also give credit as well up the middle to Ryan Livingston. It's a loss of about a yard, so it'll be second down and goal from the 11. The 6th play upcoming on the current possession for the Eagles. They're taking their time. Clock winds down. Will be under probably about 3:25 when he takes this snap. Peterson. Twins to either side. Man in motion. They run a lot of motion, which can add to confusion. That man stops and goes in motion again. Throw over the middle. He gets him outside. That's Jenkins. He cuts back in. He dives, and he's over the goal line. Touchdown, Lindale. A little swing pass to the man that was in motion is Jordan Jenkins. And the quarterback, Peterson, finds him in the flat, and he takes it in, bouncing in between several Pine Tree defenders for 6.
Great little move left. Pirate defense bid on it, and he had an open lane all the way to the goal line.
6 plays, 46 yards on the possession for Lindale. Kick down, up, and it is good. Just inside the wide upright. So with 3:12 remaining in the first quarter, new score, Pine Tree 13, Lindale 7. You're listening to Pine Tree Football on YouTube. We'll be right back. Resuming play here at Pirate Stadium in Longview at the Palace. Pete's Palace on the loop. Pine Tree up 13-7. Lindale goes 6 plays, 46 yards in about 3 minutes. Back deep for Pine Tree is Adams. This is going to be over the head. Adams will field it far side. He comes back near side. Coming all the way across the field. Finds an alley. No. Runs into several Lindale Eagles. Goes from about the 23 to right at the 30, and that's where Pine Tree will take over at their own 30, leading 13-7 here in the first quarter. Very active game, very offensive-minded game. Pine Tree made the stop on Lindale's first possession, but Lindale has not been able to stop Pine Tree just yet.
And Pine Tree needs to come in. They need to score every possession. They need to not worry about how many points they're putting up. They just need to score all night long and not worry about anything.
And that'll generally win you the game. Generally, or it should. When they've scored 5 and 7 straight possessions over the course of a game, they've been victorious. Handoff outside. Sheffield gets away from one defender, gets away from another, jets forward, fumbles the ball as he hits the ground. They're going to call him down. He should have been down, but I don't know. Lindale says they have it. He hit the ground. The ball skirted loose after he picked up about 13 yards, and Lindale does get the fumble, and I hope we didn't just jinx Tyler Sheffield, but it sure looked like he hit the ground when the ball popped loose. But they're giving the ball to Lindale on a 12-yard run, and it's a turnover. Wow, yeah, just like that.
Came down, the knees were down, the ball rolled out so slow, there's no way it would have been out. It would have been rolling faster.
But Lindale gets the turnover. Pine Tree hasn't had a fumble in several weeks. It's been since against Jacksonville here some 3 weeks ago. And that didn't hurt Pine Tree at all. Man in motion, they move real fast. There has to be, I'm not going to say it. The quarterback has a room to run, makes a great move, another move, and he's going to pick up a bunch of yards from the 43 down to the 24-yard line, a 19-yard gain. Pine Tree has got to contain the quarterback tonight.
They did. Number 27, Sam Williams, stepping up, not taking the little juke move by the quarterback, and he stayed with him, made the tackle.
First down for the Eagles at the Pine Tree 24-yard line, a turnover, crucial. Pine Tree's got to get a stop here. They're up 13-7, 2:28 the clock runs in the first quarter. Lindale traveling from south to north here at the Palace on the loop at Pirate Stadium. Trips far side, they're going to hand it off to Jenkins. He's got a couple of yards, now bulls forward, and about 6 Pirates are there to corral him, but he picks up 5-6 yards on the play.
Be a crew of Pirates there to stop him.
A crew of Pirates, yes. Yes. Catching the left flank on the field, actually the center of the field. So it's second down and 4 upcoming for Lindale. Clock under 2 minutes now in the first quarter. 13-7 Pine Tree up, and it's a precarious lead at the moment. Lindale actually in huddle formation, trips far side. 1 wide receiver near side, man in motion now from east to west. Pine Tree's got 4 defenders up the middle. Jenkins gets the ball. Pine Tree is there, wrapping him up, and he still picks up about 3 or 4 yards. He's going to be just a little shy of the first down, depending on where they mark him. The linesman over here, wow. The linesman on the near side has the 14-yard line. They're moving the sticks down to the 10. It's at the 14-yard line, and I don't know, the official on the far side is not seeing the field at all. He's moved the chain gang down. I guess it is a first down, though. They needed to get to the 23 or the 14, and they did. It's first down. Give him 4 yards on the gain. wow, that was just very quick 4 yards for Jenkins. Twins far side, near side, one wide receiver, one back set. They hand it to him, and he's blasted at the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a yard or two, and that is Colton Munoz.
Recovered by number 17, Peterson.
Great read by Colton. He's been in on the last several plays.
And they're giving him just a fantastic spot. The quarterback must have picked up the loose ball. There was a turnover, a fumble, but he picked it up and got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain instead of a loss of 3. And that ball's slippery, evidently, and it's a dry night. Cool, dry, temperature in the upper 40s by now. We're not going to have a frost in the morning like we did this morning here. Trips far side. Jenkins gets back from the slot next to his quarterback, moves again. That's got to be motion. A fake, and he's going to be tackled and bounce forward for a couple of yards, getting to the quarterback first.
On the fake, keeper tripped up by number 40.
That's Ryan Livingston with the tackle, and Peterson still moves forward about 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 7 upcoming for Lindale.
Pine Tree's going to have to fix their coverage on the right side up top. They were very fortunate that he did not see the open man that time.
Good call, good call. I'm watching the ball as much as I can. Can't even see it come loose sometimes. So it's 3rd down and 7 for the Eagles at the Pine Tree 11. Trying to knock at the door. This might be the last play of the quarters. We're under 10 seconds. Back to pass, quarterback Peterson throws. Receiver coming over the middle, catches. He dives in. He's inside the pylon. Touchdown, Lindale with 1 second left in the quarter. Connor Boyette runs from the slot near side across the middle, makes the catch, and he beats a Pine Tree defender to the corner of the end zone for 6, and we're tied at 13 pending the PAT.
They went to move for the coverage that time, but he just came across, open man, nobody with him.
11-yard touchdown pass, Peterson to Boyette. PAT upcoming, kick up, kick is good, just inside the upright. 1 second remains in the first quarter, and we are going to have a track meet here, folks. Lindale 14, Pine Tree 13. You're listening to Pine Tree Football on YouTube. Back to live action here at Pirate Stadium. I'm Randy Johnson. Alongside me is Brett Conway and our engineer extraordinaire Todd Yon for Pine Tree Pirate Football. Got a special visitor in the booth, my uncle. I'll just say Uncle Richard. My uncle Richard Jones is in the booth hanging out with us, and he is a sporting kind of guy. He's been pitching for like 70 years, 60 years of his 74 years of life, and he's really good. Here's the kick down deep. It's going to be Adams backtracking to the 11. He needs to come up the field. He's coming all the way across the field, and he's going to be trapped. And he gets away, and he gets to the 21-yard line. And that's the last play of the first quarter. As we'll come back to the other end of the field, Pine Tree will go from south to north as we resume in a moment. We'll stay right here, actually. We'll talk about a couple of our sponsors. Across the way, Pegues, Hurst Ford, another great sponsor of Pine Tree Athletics and Pine Tree Scholastics. Ralph Pelea, downtown attorney on Tyler Street. And Chick-fil-A, we have 3 locations in the city, 2 owned by one individual. The one in the mall is owned by another individual. We're on the west loop at Gilmer Road, and the northeast corner of near 4th Street in front of Walmart and Sam's is Chick-fil-A. And, of course, East Texas Professional Credit Union with 3 locations in Longview serving all your banking and credit union needs. So a fast-paced first quarter. Each team scores twice on 3 possessions. And at this pace, we're going to have 12 possessions each. So it's going to come down to attrition to see what happens, Brett.
It is. Pine Tree is going to have to fix that the pass coverage on the right side. That's eating them up right now. Quick score over at Marshall and the White House. Marshall's leading White House 7-0. And here's an interesting score. Lakewater on top of Sabine, 14-zip right now.
Wow, Sabine comes in undefeated. Whoa. They're at Bear Country, though, at Jack Murphy. Back to pass. DJ throws. He's hit as he's thrown. It's caught at the 35 to the 40. It's Gabe. Gabe's going to get and wrestle 4 or 5 Eagles there to gang up on him at the 45-yard line. But it's a 25-yard gain from the 20, and Pine Tree's in business again. DJ Freeman just got it off just in the nick of time, and how he got it over the defensive end, he was barreling down on him. Wow, he did a great job.
Well, as he was in the grass at the as he let go of the pass there, great concentration on both ends.
And Adams is probably nearing 1,000 yards receiving on the season. He was at 940 coming in. DJ hands off to Sheffield, and he's bottled up just about a yard shy of the line of scrimmage by several white-clad Lindale Eagles. They're pretty tough up the middle. Pine Tree's done a better job running around the ends because of their speed.
Not a whole lot up the middle. Normally he can take that read and there's a gap open, but so far tonight they've been closing it up.
Clock's going to roll under 11 minutes before halftime. 14-13, Lindale up. Pine Tree scored 2 straight. Lindale's come back and answered. There's a blitz, a screen pass, and the pass is deflected and falls incomplete. And the defense came by so quickly, there was very little blocking for Pine Tree. They just need to put a body on a body when that happens.
Yeah, I believe that was number 53 tipping that, Ethan Thornton for Lindale. Got a hand on it.
Pine Tree up front, a bunch of juniors and 1 senior. Darlin Key, big number 78 is 6'6", 330. He's the biggest man on the field, and he's a senior left tackle. The rest of them are juniors. Underclassmen, Pine Tree will be well represented next season, but we're still in 2019. Twins near side, top side is JJ. Play action pass, throw, and it's going to fall incomplete as the defensive end again is just all over DJ. Somebody's got to put a body on a body. It's 4th and 11 upcoming for Pine Tree.
Yeah, shades of last week on the defense coming around that right and left end. Somebody watched a little film this week.
Yep. They just they run a stunt, I believe, or they just shoot the gap, and that's what happens. You've got to be very reactive to the defender. And here's DJ back to punt on 4th of 11 from his own. He'll be standing at his own 31, but the ball is at the 45 for Pine Tree. They trail 14-13 here in the second. And he's going to rugby style it and pop it up high in the air, deep down the field. It's going to take a Pine Tree roll out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
And that punt by DJ Freeman goes out of bounds right around the
38-yard punt.
That's where the Eagles will start this series.
And that's where the Eagles start at their own 17-yard line ahead 14-3.
Give a little shout out right now to the Pine Tree Lady Pirates volleyball team. They have qualified for postseason play, and they'll be facing Greenville on Monday night in Mineola at 6:30. That's going to be the Lady Pirates versus Greenville volleyball.
Lady Pirates against the Lady Lions of Greenville High School in Mineola at the home of the Orange Yellow Jackets. Twins near side for Lindale. Quarterback hands it off to Jenkins. He plows forward. He's going to pick up about 7 or 8 yards on first down, get to the 25, give him 8 on first down. Luke Poe now in the game, the other sophomore quarterback. They shuttle quarterbacks in and out occasionally. They both get a couple of series. So Poe, P-O-E. Luke Poe wears number 12, and he's now at quarterback for the Eagles. Clock runs will be right around 10 minutes. 14-13, a good one. Right here at Pirate Stadium in Longview. I'm Randy Johnson. Alongside me is Greg Conway with Pirate Football. On YouTube, Boyette's going to go near side. He's their top receiver. They're going to hand it off to Jenkins. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, but gets free. Actually, it's a great fake by Poe. He faked me out, and he's got a first down with about a 4-yard gain.
Number 40, Ryan Livingston in the hole.
Livingston there is to wrap him up, one of the leading tacklers for Pine Tree. Keith Wright is the leading tackler along with Dallas Dixon and Ryan Livingston. Gain of 4 and a first down as they are now at the 29-yard line. Content to eat up some clock and run the football, which they do pretty well for the Lindale Eagles. The Cochran brothers with Hallsville connections are leading the helm at Lindale. Trips near side, man in motion is Jenkins. He's in a slot now. Back to pass to quarterback, looks, throws. He's got a receiver. It's going to be there. Oh, he's going to get bumped. Is there a flag? No. Incidental contact. The ball went out of bounds anyway. It's incomplete.
Yeah, great coverage that time by Pine Tree defense. Didn't get his number.
Pull out the old binoculars there, Professor. 9 minutes, 12 seconds. Clock stops, second quarter. 14-13, Lindale up. The difference is a missed extra point. When Pine Tree scored their first touchdown, it shanked off the upright for Pine Tree. Second down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Twins near side, one back set for Poe. He hands it off to Jenkins. Cuts back inside. He's going to pick up about 4, maybe 5 yards to the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5 upcoming, a big third down for the Pirate defense.
That's number 6, Keelan Turner, out there up top. Great coverage on each play.
You got Corey Stipman in the corner down low on the near side. And let me see. Kane is one safety along with Greg Wright. 3rd down 5 for Lindale at their own 35-yard line. A big play upcoming for the Pine Tree defense. Let's see if they can get some pressure and get a tackle at the line of scrimmage or in the backfield. Clock running at 8:30. Handoff, and he's got an open lane, and there he goes. 30, 20, 10, untouched. Jenkins goes a long way on that one, 65 yards, touchdown for Lindale. And just like that, they've scored 3 unanswered touchdowns.
Just a great run on the part of Jenkins there, and that's why he's up in the tops on that run in that category.
Yeah, in the league, he's number 3. He probably just passed up Mr. Sheffield for number 2, although Sheffield did have a 49-yard run earlier, so they're neck and neck. Extra point, snap down, kick up, kick is good. So with 8:21 remaining in the second quarter, new score, Lindale 21, Pine Tree 13. You're listening to Pine Tree Football. Resuming play, second quarter. Lindale takes it 5 plays, 83 yards, in about 2.5 minutes, and they get the big blast up the middle from their star tailback Jordan Jenkins, and he sets sail on a 65-yard sprint to the end zone. 21-13, pooch kick is high, end over end. It's going to be taken by Gabe at the 15. Now he comes up the middle this time and comes back near side, has a little room, gets inside, makes a great move. He's at the 30 and 40 actually, and he takes it about 18 yards up the field to about the 43-yard line for the Pirates, where they now are on offense on this possession.
Great effort on that return. He picked up an extra 10 yards just by sheer watching where his blockers were going on that play. Great run.
Return of about 20 yards. He caught it at about the 23 up to the 43. They're going to mark it at the 42, where Pine Tree will start in this possession. They went wide the first 2 possessions and had great success, and they've tried to go inside, and Lindale's been very quick off the ball. Good snap. DJ's going to keep it, going to get outside. He's going to pick up a lot of yardage, and there he goes. See you later. 10-5 touchdown. DJ Freeman shows his wheels, 58 yards untouched.
Turnabout's fair play, wouldn't you say?
Now he's fast too.
I think so.
He's legitimate 440, 4.40, and he goes to the house. And Pine Tree had the ball for 11 seconds, and DJ ran that 40 yards in about 7 seconds. Should they go for 2? And I think they may. They're debating it. They can't make up their mind. You got 3 timeouts. We might as well use them. And they're going to go for 2. And I would just run him outside again. You know, they can't catch him. Here we go. They're going for 2 to try to tie it up. 21-19 with the 2-point conversion coming. He just gets a snap off. Can he get outside? No, he's not going to get around the defensive end. And it fails, and Coach Lane is furious. And he should be. Two-point conversion fails. A new score, Lindale 21, Pine Tree 19, with 8:01 left in the second quarter. You're listening to Pine Tree Football.
8:01 remaining before the half. Score is Eagles 21, Pirates 19.
Resuming play here at Pirate Stadium on the Loop in Southwest Longview at Pete's Palace on the Loop. Pine Tree has scored one play, 58 yards for DJ Freeman. He is definitely over 1,000 yards rushing. Matter of fact, he's probably up near 1,100 yards rushing, well over 100 on the night with that run. Kickoff deep for Herbert. He shoots a line drive straight up the middle, and it's going to roll into the Pine Tree end zone, and Lindale will let it roll on back, and they'll take over at the 25. One play, 58 yards. I got 12 seconds on the actual possession for Pine Tree. And, it's a score for score now. And that conversion could come back to haunt them. I think there's going to be plenty of time for them to catch that at the right time. And one play drive, Pine Tree's in the end zone. Here comes their defense, needing a breather, and they got just barely a breather, Greg.
Well, that's right. And they need to remember they can come back and score very quickly. So they don't want to get down. They're before that last set, they were looking like they're a little slow.
But never fear, DJ's here. DJ with multiple touchdowns offensively, throwing and running, and he's showing his outstanding play-action pass rolling wide as Peterson's going to throw it away. Has good coverage down the field for the Pirates. Stitman on the near side had Boyette, and the far side, Mr. Turner on the top side at corner had his man. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Great coverage, and the safety's coming over to pick up the man downfield.
Clock stopped at 7:49. An exciting first half, to say the least. 21-19, Lindale up over Pine Tree, and it's a track meet, literally. Twins near side, twins far side, both for Lindale. One back set is the tailback play action pass. They throw it outside. The defender's there to bring him down after a short gain of maybe 2 yards. Beeler on the catch. And Keith Wright is there, the leading tackler. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Now is a good time to get a stop in a 3-and-out Pirate defense. What say you? What say you, Mr. Conway?
I say they were fired up coming into this set of downs, and they need to stay that way right now.
Yep. They need to get after the quarterback. They could run that delayed trap or draw to Jenkins, and just got to play assignment football and get after it. Let the football be a magnet to your steel. Here we go. Back to pass. Throwing deep. Got his receiver open, and he catches it. He beats Stitman. Still, Stitman tries to bring him down, and he finally does at the 29-yard line. It goes from 128 to the other 29. That is a 43-yard gain. And the wide receiver, Boyette, just beat Stitman by a couple yards, and the pass was perfect.
Great play. Cameron Kane also out there on that play.
43-yard pass reception from Peterson back in the game. He is definitely the better passer of the two sophomores. Wow. They get a false start here, and they don't call it. Inside screen is going to be picked up about 5 yards. The officials are sound asleep. The outside wide receiver juked and took a step early, and there's no flag.
Yeah, there's been a little movement throughout the first and this part of the second quarter that they haven't been seeing.
Yeah, I understand you let them play sometimes, but when there's a false start, there's a false start.
Well, and even on the conversion a while ago, same thing. 2nd
and 5 from the 24 of the Eagles in Pine Tree territory. There's a handoff, and he's wrapped up immediately. No, he takes it, fakes it, and Pine Tree's got a real weakness for going after the tailback like I did, and Peterson runs it in from 25 yards out. Wow, just like that, they score again.
Great delay on that play, and Pine Tree.
They're biting on it.
Yep, they are.
It's all about watching film. And, man, Peterson with a great fake. with a fake to Jenkins, and he runs it right, untouched from a long way out. Kick up. Kick is good. With 6:01 remaining in the second quarter. New score, Lindale 28, Pine Tree 19. You're listening to Pine Tree Football on YouTube. We'll be right back. Back at Pine Trees Pirate Stadium, second quarter, 6:01. The Eagles have now scored 4 consecutive possessions, and they're making it look easy. Pine Trees going to have to keep up. They're down 28-19 with 6:01 left in the second quarter. Here live from the Palace on the West Loop. Pooch kick high. It's going to be caught this time by Gabe at the 18. Upfield, gets a block, gets another block, and there's a whole host of Eagles to get him at about the 32-yard line. A 14-yard return for Gabe Adams. Nakima Williams acted like he wanted it, but he gave way. Adams, I'm sure, said, it's mine, and he took it. And Pine Tree has the ball at their own 32-yard line, first down.
Really thought we were going to get a face mask flag on that play.
Well, we're thinking a lot of things the officials should be doing. Sometimes, less is best.
Well, and, it was right in front of him.
Well, it was, but the line judge has, he's not getting any earful, not apparently, but he should be. Ball at the 32, 1st and 10 for Pine Tree at their own 32. DJ fakes. He's got a hole, but he's wrapped up quickly as they respond. He picks up only a yard on first down, trying to go up the middle instead of outside.
Well, that was a case of being at the right place and the right time for number 24. That was Jared Allen coming up and making the tackle.
Second down and 9 upcoming for Pine Tree. They trail 28-19. It's been a barn burner, literally. And the Eagles are in the lead 28-19 here at Pine Tree. Twins far side, one side, near side is JJ. Play action pass throw down the field, and it's going to be almost intercepted. And a great job of knocking it away. The pass was a little shy, and JJ came back up and made a play for it too, but the defender had position. 3rd and 9 upcoming. 5:15, clock stop, second quarter, 28-19. Lindale up by 9. Pine Tree needs to make something happen on 3rd and 9. DJ. Twins far side are Nakima and Gabe. Near side is JJ. Back to pass. He comes back in. He's got open field. He breaks free. He's got the 40 and a first down, and he's out of bounds at the 46-yard line. And a pickup of about 13 yards for DJ Freeman. Well over 100 yards in the first half. I've got him at about 140, but we shall see what we shall see.
Great run, doing what he does best there on that play, picking up the first down.
He's quick. He's got great vision, and he's just a fantastic athlete. The little guy, 5'9", 155, junior. Hands off. There goes Tyler up the middle. He's got freedom and a big gain of about 13-yard lines. Here come the flags like crazy. It's either a hold and or a targeting hit, possibly, a face mask. Tyler broke free and had the line of scrimmage and picked up a big gainer, and it's going to add on 15 more, I do believe. And, yes, it will. It's against Lindale, and it's a face mask. Here's the call.
Face mask. 23 in the defense. 15 yards in from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So a gain of 13 on the play, tack on 15 more, so Pine Tree's down to Lindale's 32-yard line. The second penalty against Lindale, both of them 15-yard varieties. They have 2 for 30. And Pine Tree, I don't believe, has a penalty yet. I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
But two officials, the back judge and the near side line judge, both caught that one. Rather obvious. So now we got to stop at your play. I think Lindale's called a timeout.
As a timeout by the Eagles.
And we'll stay right here with them. You got any score updates there? It's 28-13. Lindale leads with 4:45. Pine Tree is on the move.
Here for Patterson Nissan and Patterson Truck Stop. Home of the free lifetime warranty. Casa de la Garantía gratis de por vida.
In the second quarter, we got Marshall at 14-zip over White House. Sabine coming back. It's 20-10 now. Gladewater over Sabine, and that's being the second quarter as well. Mount Pleasant is currently leading Jacksonville 14-7. That's also in the second quarter.
At the reservation, at the Tomato Bowl on the reservation.
That's
wow,
true.
okay. Mount Pleasant's got some talent now. Let's see.
And Nacogdoches is leading Hallsville by a score of 9-0 in the second quarter.
So NAC trying to get that second district win. Hallsville, with that loss, well, they'll get White House next week. They're going to go 0-7, more than likely, apparently. 9-0. NAC leads at home on their senior night. They'll be at Mount Pleasant next week, so that'll wind up their season. They're at home for the last time. Here we go. 1st and 10, Pine Tree. We'll set the stage at the Lindale 32-yard line. 4:45 remaining in the first half in the second quarter. 28-19. Lindale scored 4 straight times. Pine Tree's trying to answer. Twins far side. JJ near side by himself. There's play action pass. He throws, and it's caught by JJ. He's tackled by the neck. He hits the ground, but he's down. They're going to call it an incomplete pass. Either he catches the ball and he's down, or he's down either way when he hits the ground. He's saying he caught the ball. One official says it's a catch. Another says he's juggling. Make up your minds, guys. Let's get in the game, officials. Get in the game. It's a catch. Clearly he caught the ball, made a football move. Kind of shades of years ago with the Cowboys against the Packers with
Sorry, you said Cowboys
They're gonna oh, stop it. They're gonna call an incomplete pass, another mess up. He caught the ball, went 3 yards forward, hit the ground, then it came loose. This is not the NFL.
It came loose after he had already hit the ground and was down.
Yeah, well.
Because White House was trying to say they recovered a fumble.
Lindale,
Lindale, yes.
Yeah, that's cool. It's 2nd and 10 from the 32, incomplete pass, no biggie, but it was a completion. Here we go. Twins near side, DJ with a play action actually runs, and he picks up a first down. He's inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. DJ Freeman's going to have a banner night the way he's going. Pickup of, 18 yards from the 32 to the 14. My math is correct on that one.
Pretty much fine. If you're not going to give it to me this way, then I'll show you I can do it myself.
Yep, that was a design quarterback draw, and just find the outside, little number 5, and hit the home run. 18 yards on the game. We'll double check his stats here in a minute. Twins far side. He's going to give it to Sheffield. Goes back far side. He's got an opening. He's to the 10. He's to the 5, and he's decapitated at the 5. No flag on that one. The officials are letting him play and keeping their eyes closed. It'll be 3rd down and 1 from the 5. 3rd down and 1 from the 5. Pine Tree's got plenty of time. Clock is going to roll under 4 minutes. 28-19, Lindale up. The Pirates are marching and knocking at the door. Twins near side for DJ. He keeps it up the middle. He's going to be pounded at the line of scrimmage. He may not even have the 4. They're going to mark him back. And he's going to lose about a half yard. It's going to be 4th and goal. Run the ball outside.
Straight up the middle. Yeah, he's going nowhere up the middle, and that's amazing.
It's 4th and actually they still have it marked at 3rd down. Okay, my bad. It's 3rd and 2. I counted that 9-yard run. It was a first down play. So it's 3rd and 2 from the 6 for Pine Tree.
Watch for JJ.
They give it to Tyler Sheffield, and he's going to be encapsulated at the line of scrimmage. Lindale's really, really, really strong up the middle, guys. It's 4th and 3, and Pine Tree's going to try a field goal.
Sparkman open down on the bottom down here. If they'd have looked, he could have come right across.
But it was clearly a running play.
Yes.
And you got to pass you got to look to call the pass if you want to throw it to your big guy. And they're just not making the plays at the line of scrimmage. The Eagles are a little bit bigger and badder up front. It's going to be like an extra point. It's going to be a 24-yard field goal for Herbert, and he kicks it, and it is barely good on the far right upright. from south to north. And a new score with 2:38 remaining before halftime. Lindale 28, Pine Tree 22 on the 24-yard field goal. You're listening to Pine Tree Football on YouTube. We'll be right back in a moment. So Pine Tree scores. Pretty decent drive. We'll count it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays. And they got down to the 7 and stalled from their own 32. 61 yards in about 4.5 minutes. We're at 2:37. It's called for a fair catch. And Lindale will have it at their own 25, leading 28-22. And now the Pirate defense has to solve quarterback Peterson mostly and running back Jenkins.
Herbert's really doing good on kickoffs tonight. That was an excellent kick. We don't talk about him very much.
Well, go right ahead. That's why you're here, brother.
That was he's got that little wounded duck kickoff going out there, but it's going fast and they just can't return it. They're staying away from number 22.
Good idea. Mr. Jenkins is a workhorse. They'll have the ball actually the 15 where they call for the fair catch. My bad on that one. 1st and 10 at the 15, 2:37, pitch back, and Pine Tree's there to wrap him up for a loss. Loss of about 3 yards. Penetration was made by Munoz and a couple of others, I do believe.
Jordan Jenkins on the carry, but brought down by number 23 of the Pirates.
Yes, Munoz is there first, and Livingston as well as Dallas Dixon there to wrap him up for a
15 yards to go.
4-yard loss. It's 2nd and 14 for Lindale. Up the middle, actually a good fake by the quarterback. They seize that one and stop it pretty good. It's a pickup of about 5 yards for Luke Poe, who's in the game. So a big 3rd down and 8 upcoming for the Pine Tree defense as we roll under 2 minutes in the first half. Ryan Livingston on that tackle.
Dallas Dixon, number 44, in there as well, I believe.
So it's 3rd down and 8 for the Eagles at their own. They got a man coming in late. This should be a penalty.
3rd down, still 8 yards to go.
This should be an illegal substitution penalty, and it's not going to be a penalty. Wow. You can't break the huddle and substitute. They got a scrum outside. They're going to throw it to the wing outside. He catches. He's going to have the 1st down and more. That should have been a penalty, referee.
That pass for number 5.
And Pine Tree, Coach Lane ought to be all over the field. And he is. They're sound asleep officiating this game.
He is tackled.
You cannot break the huddle and substitute. Clear penalty they get away with. Wow. Unbelievable. It's a pickup of about 17 yards on the play. The referees need to wake up. They are asleep on the job. Ball at the 36-yard line for Lindale. Good move by the quarterback. There's Munoz to get him at his ankles, and he picks up about 4 yards.
Number 12, Luke Poe on the keeper.
Incredible. 2 weeks ago, we see officiating that's just way over the top. Tonight, we see no officiating.
6 yards to go for the Eagles.
I want to know what they're taking. They're sleeping through
I don't
this
know.
game.
They're
They
sound
were
asleep. The referee should have thrown the flag. He ran up and said, come on in. Come on in. Come on. You got to call. I mean,
And that call is
Kerry needs to be right over there with Mr. Hall asking him what's going on. Lindale calls a timeout on 2nd down and 6 upcoming. They lead 28-22. The clock is – that's a timeout clock. We're going to be just over a minute and a half left, I believe. They're running the play clock on the timeout on the game clock. They tried to fool me a couple weekends ago, but somebody's asleep over here too, because about 7 or 8 seconds ran off the clock. And let's see if the referee caught that. I'm not missing that, am I?
No. It's the timeout clock.
Well, I understand that, but it stopped again. So are you going to run it or not? Anyway, I'm just a little amused
I
or
believe
bemused by the officiating.
I believe they went to the regular clock
Yes.
now with 52 seconds. So
That would be correct. We're under a minute. Lindale will have one timeout left, I do believe. They've got the ball 2nd and 6 from their own 40-yard line, leading 28-22. It's been one great football game so far. So here he goes.
6 more seconds.
He's going to bark now. You're wide awake there, Mr. Hall. Come on, Wes. Mercy.
Lindale's offense is doing a great
Yes,
job
they
of fooling even the officials
Yeah.
tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You can run a player on after you break the huddle. That's illegal. Play action pass, got a receiver, and he's hit hard.
Yep.
Keith Wright
Peterson finds number 20, Dylan Worrell.
knocks the ball away from Dylan Worrell, who had it in his wickets and then got slammed by number 7, Wright. So it'll be 3rd and 5 again. Pine Tree needs to get a stop on 3rd down. They've not been able to do it since the first possession of the game.
Brings up 3rd down for the Eagles.
This will be the 6th play upcoming on this current possession. Clock stopped at 54 seconds. Pine Tree can get the ball back and do a lot in 54 seconds. Got to get a stop. Trips far left, near side, one receiver, and he moves early. There's the handoff, play action, caught. He catches it this time. Wright hits him against the same exact play,
Number 20, Dylan
and he picks up
Worrell.
10 yards for the first down.
By number 7.
Yeah, movement on the line that time,
That time it
no
goes
flag.
to change for the Eagles. That's a 1st down.
1st and 10 at midfield, straight up. Clock runs under 40 seconds. Peterson throws, has a receiver. That's Boyette, catches it, and picks up
Peterson hits
12
number
yards in the
31
first down to
Boyette.
the 38.
Another 1st down.
So they're
for the
moving
Eagles.
very adeptly down the field with the air wave going, and the officials in their back pocket.
Pine Tree just not getting set up on any of these plays.
Lindale is 5 for 6 on 3rd down conversions by my account. Not good. That's a trend that Pine Tree needs to stop. They're moving along the line every single play. One of these times, either the head linesman or the line judge has to throw a flag. They're going to call their final timeout at the 31-yard line as the clock is stopped at 27 seconds, so they have time. They have a good kicker, too. Pine Tree needs to stop here. Score with 27 seconds left in the first half. Lindale 28, Pine Tree 22. It's been a track meet and a pretty entertaining game.
It has, but the quarterback has started to have to slow down a little bit. Munoz is coming up, and it looks like they've assigned him to the quarterback right now.
Okay, that's a lineman who has got somebody in front of him blocking him. My question is, why not leave a free defender to follow the quarterback? Anyway, it's going to be 2nd down and 4 upcoming for Lindale as we set the stage. It'll be at 27 seconds when we resume play. Lindale taking their last time out. Pine Tree needs a tackle in the backfield or a pickoff or something to stop this current march. Lindale scored 4 of the 5 possessions in the first half. They're on possession number 6, and they're making it look pretty easy as they're gobbling up the yardage.
Well, they're getting a little help also.
Yeah, well, you know, we can go on and on about that, but it's not going to change the guys in zebra print because they are just sound asleep. I mean, sound asleep. You want official to make a correct call. Twins near side, twins far side, rolling left. Peterson throws, receiver wide open. They're giving a good cushion out there. Stidman rolls out, pushes out Connor Boyette. It's a pickup of 7 yards and outside to the 25-yard line. Pickup of 7 in the first down. Clock stop at 22 seconds of the first half.
Now, Lindale doing very well on these little short passes out and to get out bounds and stop the clock.
Yes, Pine Tree is man-to-man, almost in a prevent style. But at some point, you have to watch the quarterback. When he turns, he's going to dictate where he's going with the ball. And corners need to get up and make a break at that point. Easier said than done from up here. But he is definitely transmitting where he's throwing the ball every time. Running near side, that gentleman in the sprint out is going to go for a pass play to the end zone. He's not going to catch it. That's Boyette, and it's incomplete out of the back of the end zone. And he runs a wheel route, but he's picked up beautifully on the near side by Kalula, the safety. Good job that time from Greg Kalulu. But they were going to run a wheel route. He even cut up field before the ball was snapped by a split second. Of course, we have a great vantage point, too. So it's a 2nd and 10 at the 25. Clock stopped at 15 seconds, first half. Lindale, 28, Pine Tree, 22. On YouTube, I'm Randy Johnson. Alongside me is Brett Conway, my color analyst. Back to pass, play action, throws. It's going to be up and intercepted. Picked off by Pine Tree. Coming back near side. Can he get around the end? He does, but he's going to be brought down. That's Turner. No. He makes a great play, just hit the ground. 26-yard line, Pine Tree, and the clock runs out. But a great defensive play to end the half by Turner, the cornerback. The pass was a little overthrown to the intended receiver. He was on the trailing back, and he makes the pick at about the 8-yard and brings it back 20 yards.
Yeah. No, time runs out, but that is a great play to end on because now they know that they can step up and make that play, and they're coming into the second half. Lindale's going to get the ball, but now they have made some adjustments somewhere where they know they can step up and play and get with them.
And Peterson had 2 receivers in the area. He overthrows the inside receiver. I believe that was Worrell, and he was going for Boyette, who was being covered by Turner, and Turner steps in front of the pass and picks it off and ends the threat from Lindale. So here we are at halftime. The score, Lindale 28, Pine Tree 22. And twirling time is upon us as the Lindale band enters the field of play. Lindale 28, Pine Tree 22. You're listening to Pine Tree Pirate Football on YouTube. We'll be back in just a little bit after a little break.
Please welcome to the field the 2019-2020 Lindale High School Star Steppers. The Star Steppers are under the direction of Kerry Pierce and Pamela Walters. Star Stepper officers are from left to right. Lieutenant Haley Bigger. Senior Lieutenant Hessley Cook. Captain Sidney Negro. Lieutenant Allie Dixon. Social officers are President Haley Lawless. Vice President Caleb Gibson. Secretary Harley Thurman. Historian Jordan Rivers. Outstanding dance of the week is Termine Wilkerson. Star Stepper of the week is Rebecca Butler. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy as the Star Steppers perform a streamer routine to Whip It. Lindale Majorettes will now perform a dance roll routine to that 2007 hit by Ozzy Osbourne, I Don't Want to Stop. Majorette captain is Miss Sheridan Taylor, and Majorette sponsor is Miss Abby Banco. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lindale Independent School District proudly presents the pride of Lindale, the Lindale High School Marching Eagle Band. The band is under the field direction of drum majors Evan Heston, Chloe Harbuck, Caroline Grant, and head major, Major Haley Petty. This year the band earned its 45th consecutive First Division rating at the Region 21 UIL Marching Contest and will compete tomorrow in the Texas State Military Marching Band Contest at SFA. Performance time is scheduled for 7:45. The Lindale Band would also like to congratulate the Pine Tree High School Band for their outstanding performance and First Division rating at the Region 4 UIL Marching Band Contest. and gentlemen, the Lindale High School Marching Eagle Band.
Welcome back to halftime. I'm Randy Johnson with some first half stats in the ball game as the Pine Tree Band now has entered the field for their performance along with their drill team. I'll leave them up a little bit with that great sound in the back. First downs in the first half, Lindale with 12, Pine Tree with 13. Rushing yards in the ball game thus far, Lindale has 19 carries for 166 yards. Pine Tree has 17 carries for 207 yards. Passing, Lindale is 10 of 16 for 148. So they have 166 passing, 148 rushing for 314 total in the first half for the Lindale Eagles. Passing the football, DJ Freeman is 4 of 8 for 82 yards and 2 touchdown passes. He has 9 carries for 127 yards and 1 score rushing. That was the 58-yard sprint to the end zone in the second quarter. So Pine Tree has 207 rushing, 82 passing for 289. 314 for Lindale, 166 rushing, 148 passing, 314. Pine Tree 207 rushing, 82 passing for 289. The leading ground gainer in the ball game is DJ Freeman, 9 carries, 127, as I mentioned. And Tyler Sheffield has 8 carries for 84 yards and a score. And 2 touchdowns, actually no scores. 2 touchdown passes in the ball game. DJ Freeman, 1 to J.J. Spartman for 35, the first score of the game, and then 1 for 16 yards to Gabe Adams. The leading passer for Lindale is Sam Peterson. He's 9 of 14 for 133 and a score. He's also rushed for a score of 17 yards. the leading ground gainer for Lindale is Jordan Jenkins. Jordan Jenkins has 9 carries for 97 yards and a 65-yard blast up the middle for a score. And once again, Peterson has 9 carries for 68 yards and the 17-yard touchdown in the ball game. Relatively close statistically. 1 turnover for Pine Tree was costly. The fumble in the second quarter, early in the second, actually in the first quarter, led to a Lindale touchdown where they took the lead at 14-13. In the ball game, Pine Tree has scored their first 2 possessions, then had a turnover, and then scored their last 2 on the long run by DJ Freeman, and then the field goal by Brant Herbert late in the second quarter. So we stand here at halftime. Pine Tree's band still on the field, the pride of Pine Tree High on senior night. A lot of seniors in the band as well. 19 seniors on the football team, and it's a great game thus far. 28-22, Lindale leads here at the Palace on the Loop in Longview at Pine Tree ISD. Lindale 28, Pine Tree 22. We'll be back in a few minutes for the second half. Yes. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Brett can take over a segment if he would like and talk about some scores in a minute. Lindale 28, Pine Tree 22. I'll be right back. And we're back at halftime. We have a special guest here in the booth here at Pine Tree, the ladies volleyball coach for the Lady Pirates.
Yes, sir.
Lacey Cold Iron.
Yes, sir.
Not hot iron, but cold iron. Well, welcome in the booth. And your team's embarking on the playoffs, going to play Greenville, I hear.
Yes, sir.
Tell us all about it.
We will be playing Greenville on Monday night at 6:30 at Mineola High School.
Cool. And your team finished in the top 3 or 4 in the district, correct?
Yes, sir. In the top 4.
In the top 4. And who was give us a rundown of the district so we can kind of lead in and what you're looking at the playoffs in your district.
In our district. Hallsville ended up number 1, White House number 2, John Tyler, and then we took the 4th spot.
Well, that's great. You made the playoffs,
yes,
and that's
sir.
always a goal at the beginning of the year.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And your team's going to play Monday night in Mineola at the Orange Yellow Jackets gym.
Yes, sir.
Kind of unusual, but Elysian Fields is the same way. I just make fun of teams that aren't black and gold and they're Yellow Jackets. But tell us about some of your star players that you have on your team. Obviously, there are if you're a playoff team. So.
Oh, yes, sir. We have 4 really strong seniors. We have Sam Sommerfield, who, number 14, plays our outside hitter. Gotten a lot of kills for us this season. Had an injury earlier in the season, first round, and so when we got her back second round, it really helped us out. Had a much stronger second round. We ended up losing Hannah Bear, our libero, who was averaging like 30 digs a game.
She hurt her leg or
something. She
something.
did, yes, sir.
Yeah, a knee issue or?
An ankle.
Ankle issue. I know her dad, and I know they were really concerned about the injury, and she's going to be out for the rest of the season. I mean,
yes,
6
sir.
weeks or 8 weeks to heal up. No surgery, though.
No,
initially.
luckily. That's great.
So that's great news. And a couple of your other players that you count on.
Yes, our middle, number 6, Malika Wilson. She's a powerhouse in the middle. Great person to have there, along with our other middle, Kenzie Kirk. She's a senior as well. Can move across the net. Great. Does some really good plays for us.
And tell us about yourself. How long is this your first year at Pine Tree, or have you been here for a while?
Yes, sir. It's my first year at Pine Tree. I came from Kilgore. I was there for the past 5 years, head coach for 4, and moved over here to Pine Tree.
Wow, that's excellent. And playoff team in your first go-around with the Lady Pirates.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And let's see, if you win Monday night, when will you play again? Probably later in the week, next week?
Yes, sir. It'll be either Thursday or Friday, looking at possibly Forney in the second round.
The Forney Lady Jackrabbits.
Yes, sir.
They're the Lady Jackrabbits of Forney High. I know just about every mascot there is to know.
Nice.
Now, you're going to be playing Greenville. They're the Lady Lions. They're the Red Lions.
Yes.
You got the blue
We're
lines in your district with John Tyler. But that's interesting, and congratulations. So you beat out the likes of, Nacogdoches. White House made it along with Hallsville's always really good. And they
Right.
always have really big girls, tall.
They do. They have some height for sure.
And they're really good in softball. And Pine Tree's getting better in those sports. But, Hallsville's always really good in those types of sports, and they have been for a long, long time. Pine Tree had a couple of ladies who are now coaches that played at Pine Tree years ago. You may or may not know them. The McAfee sisters starts with an MC. And they were both – one of them coaches at Panola.
McCrae?
McCrae.
Yes, sir.
And McCrae. The McCrae, I know their dad. They played here in the early 2000s.
Yes, they were powerhouses here for
they're
sure.
like tall girls who could really, really play basketball and volleyball really well. Do you have any girls going both ways that'll play basketball too?
Yes, sir. Malika Wilson, one of the middles. She's a big basketball player. I know Sam Sommerfeld. She runs track. Tatum Berry, a defensive specialist. She's a big power lifter.
Wow.
Does really well there. So most of our girls are multi-sport athletes.
That's what you like to have, because the better they are at other sports, the better they are going to be for your team as well.
Absolutely.
And colleges look at that too when they're recruiting. They always, like, if you have a great track star and they're good at volleyball, and, that just helps them out because they're a more well-rounded athlete.
Definitely. We encourage it a lot.
Typically. Well, congratulations on your playoff coming up, and wish you best. And maybe you'll reach that second round, and maybe it's Thursday and you can win that and you can come back next week. We'll be in Marshall, though.
Right.
But that's quite all right. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, too.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more halftime. The Pirate Pride is still on the field with a score. Lindale 28, Pine Tree 22. You're listening to Pine Tree Football. We're resuming play here momentarily. Pine Tree kicks off here to start the second half. I'm Randy Johnson. Alongside me is my color analyst, Brett Conway. It's a deep boot by the left footer. It's going to be fielded at the 9 by a player, and he gets absolutely bashed real hard. Camden McIntyre there with a nice stop. He broke free of a couple of blockers and hit him at the 24-yard line. And I believe that was number 8 on the return. I could be wrong, but that's Evan Alford. And he was hit hard and dropped immediately. So Pine Tree's defense is on the field to start the second half. 28-22, Lindale up at halftime. Thank you very much for that natural sound. We like the sound of the crowd in the background. It feels and is just like a real football game. Here we go. Twins near side, one back set. They hand off to Jenkins, and he's hit immediately, and he's going to get nowhere. Kalulu there, along with Livingston, Rashad, and also Dallas Dixon on the stop for Pine Tree on first down. It's no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Great coverage on that to come out to start the second half, which is what you want to see. Pine Tree is going to have to keep the pressure up, and they're going to have to score quick and fast and continue all the rest of the game.
It's a close ball game, one score down, but they're going to have to play assignment football and be recognize plays and stay at home when you have to stay at home. Safeties and linebackers. And, of course, 23, his motor runs constantly. That's Mooney, as they call him on the team, Munoz. 2nd and 10, Twins on both sides. Play action pass throw. It's caught for a short gain of about 6. They're going to mark it at the 32. So it's a pickup of 8 yards, 7. It'll be 3rd and 3 upcoming. 3rd and a long 2 upcoming for the Eagles on the first possession of the second half.
Number 7, Keith Wright, stepping up to make the tackle on that play.
They're still open because they're not, they need to be a man-on-man in the situation. They grab a new pen. That one doesn't want to ride. Let's throw it to file 13. Here we go. I got you. 3rd down and a short 3 for Lindale. Twins near side, far side. Man in motion is Worrell, number 20. Snap, play action. There's a late draw. There's a hole, but he's cleaned up quickly, and he's going to fall forward for the first down. Man, they cannot get them off the field on 3rd down to save their lives. That's 6 of 7. Actually, the last play of the third quarter, of the second quarter, so they're 6 of 8 now on 3rd down are the Eagles. That's the 14th first down of the ball game for Lindale. Pine Tree has 13, actually 13 apiece now on the scorecard for each team. It's a very, very statistically close game offensively. There's a play action. There's a handoff. It's going to be the running back. Jenkins going to fall forward. It's going to pick up about 2 yards up to the 39.
Keith Wright, number 7, back up again, making a great read for the defense. Short gain, but
Pine Tree lines up in a 3-4 defense. 3 down linemen are Munoz, Butler in the middle, and Rashad Livingston on the far side. Their linebackers, of course, are Kalulu and Sam Williams, along with Dallas Dixon. And I believe they have in the ball game, let me double check. In the ball game, they also have Ryan Livingston. Play action, rolling outside. The running back's going to trudge forward and pick up about 3 or 4 on 2nd down. So it'll bring up 3rd down again, and about 3 upcoming for Lindale at the 43-yard line.
Look for the quick pass to the right side this time.
3rd and 2. Line of markation to get the first down is at the 46-yard line. The ball sits just inside the 44. We're up here at about the 40-yard line, far side. Lindale running north to south here to begin the second half. Twins near side, rolling right. Pass is caught. It's going to be a first down, and that is number 3, Boyette. And they're just wide open on these short little 5- and 6-yard out patterns. Pine Tree's giving them, and Lindale's taking what Pine Tree's giving them.
Both times that time, they're giving them about 8 to 10 yards cushion, and all they got to do is turn around, get the pass, and pick up about 4 or 5 yards.
And possess the ball, another 3 downs. It's 1st and 10 in Pine Tree territory at the 48-yard line. Clock is running as we'll go under 8 minutes here in the third quarter. Lindale very methodically and patiently moving down the field. Pine Tree needs to make a tackle behind the line of scrimmage or scrape the ball or get an interception. There's a handoff, and there he goes. See you later. 10-5, touchdown Jordan Jenkins. Man, nobody's at home in the middle of the field on a little counter tray, and he goes 43 yards for the score, untouched, pretty much.
Exact same play as in the first half. But the second time or the third time he's run that.
That's the 65, and then that one was 43, I believe. He's over 100 yards with 2 carries. He had 97 in the first half. Snap is behind the holder, Boyette, but he brings it down. The kick is up and good. So, first possession of the second half, Lindale marches proudly down the field, 85 yards. The new score, Lindale 35, Pine Tree 22. You're listening to Pine Tree Football. We'll be right back on YouTube. Kick deep. It's going to be fair caught at the 28-yard line by Nakima Williams. And so Lindale, 7 plays, 85 yards, and 4:14 to start the second half. Pine Tree's going to have to solve the riddle that is the Eagle offense. And it's 35-22, and it's time to play catch-up. Pine Tree can do it pretty fast. A nice drive with 6 or 7 plays here to give the defense a rest would be a good idea, if possible.
We know Pine Tree can score quickly.
DJ claps, hands it off, play action, rolls right, has to get away from 4 or 5 defenders, throws it out, and it's going to be all over just the intended receiver, Adams, incomplete. Then the blocking gave way pretty quickly, and DJ was running for his life, and it falls incomplete on first down.
Nice throw from DJ on that, able to keep his composure, but just a little bit.
The game right now, the difference is the line of scrimmage.
Yes, it is.
And the Eagles are feasting on pirate food at the moment. Pine Tree's got to find a way. They can score quickly, obviously, and then they've got to find a way to make stops on defense before it gets too far out of hand. Clock stopped at 7:39, third quarter. Trips top wide right. DJ with a run. And he picks up just a couple yards on the second down run. It'll be 3rd and 8 upcoming for Pine Tree.
Here's some update on some scores very quickly here. After halftime, Marshall is 21-0 over White House. Mount Pleasant and Jacksonville are tied up at 14 apiece.
I told you about Marshall.
Nacogdoches 16-0 over Hallsville.
I told you about Marshall.
I know, but the game's not
They may
over
even
yet.
shut them out.
They might. They might.
Twins top and screen. JJ near stride. It's a run play designed, and he's going to come up short by about 3 yards. Pick up a 4 on the play for DJ. And you might as well keep him on the field, but they'll probably have to punt. Here they come. Just too far deep in your own territory, down by 2 scores. You run out of possessions at some point. I need a couple of big plays to go their way. And do the Pirates.
Certainly too deep to allow Lindale to get the ball back in this area.
There you go, punt time. DJ is back at about the 23-yard line. Turner in motion, snap is good. He's going to fake it and throw it to Turner. He's wide open, caught it at midfield, first down. Turner turns on the Jets. He's at the 35. It's going to be a beautiful fake punt. And it's a big pickup down the field. 35 yards on the pass play for DJ to Turner. They send him in motion like they always do, and nobody covers him. He's wide open in midfield. Pass is received, and now Pine Tree is in. They get the fourth down conversion, essentially.
Great call. Great call.
It was, and it was timely. It needed to happen. They need a spark. Twins top screen, obviously, on the field. There's a running play for DJ. He's going to pick up about 4 yards on first down. Give him 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Pirates. Clock rolls at 5. We'll be under 5:30 before the snap. 35-22. Lindale in the lead. The Eagles have scored on 5 of 7 possessions on the evening. Pine Tree's in their 7th possession now. Well, they ended a possession, but it didn't count because they never ran a play in the second quarter after the interception. Back to pass. Got a receiver throwing it deep for and that pass is, I don't know what happened to it. It was a dying quail, and DJ's hurt. I don't know what happened. The ball was kind of fluttered. It's intercepted by Lindale at about the 10-yard line, and DJ is looking to be not well. I don't know what happened, but he's coming off the field. And at the 10-yard line, they'll take over. It looked like a dying quail, not a live eagle, but the Eagles pick it off at the 9 where they take over 1st and 10. I'm not sure what happened, but we will not dwell on it. Here comes Lindale. Pine Tree needs to stop trailing 35-22. The second turnover on the evening for the Pirates. Clock is stopped at 5:14 of the third. 35-22. Lindale up. Man in motion. They run counter. Misdirection and pick up about 7 yards on first down to Worrell.
Number 20,
Dylan Worrell, he runs off the field. It's going to be 2nd down and 3 at the 16-yard line for the Eagles.
Number 54, Rashad Livingston, stepping up to make the tackle.
That's only the 3rd interception of the season by DJ. Something happened, but the lefty is up, throwing, warming up. That is Corey Thomas Jr., the backup. He's played a couple times this year. He came in the backup situation at Kilgore. They're looking at DJ. He's standing up. I don't know if his arm hit something or somebody as he threw it, but the ball was way short of the intended receiver, J.J. Sparkman. Here we go. Twins either side for quarterback Sam Peterson. Throws it wide out. Receiver's open, makes the catch, and a good open field tackle that time by Corey Stipman, number 10 for Pine Tree. Going to bring up a 3rd and short. 3rd and about a yard and a half.
Now we're back in that same situation with the quarterback read coming up the middle.
PA announcer announced DeCamry Kane, number 20. It sure looked like number 10, but it could have been the safety with a tackle. They were both over in coverage on the near side. 3rd down and a yard upcoming for Lindale. A good time to get a stop way back down on that end of the field at the 17 for Pine Tree. They hand it off to the big guy, and he's going to be tackled at the line of scrimmage, but he falls forward for a yard and a half, and he gets a first down. That's Jordan Jenkins.
He picks up the first down for the Eagles.
Clock runs under 4 minutes now. It stops as we move the chains at 3:54. Lindale 35, Pine Tree 22 here on YouTube. Randy Johnson alongside me is Brett Conway and our engineering phenom, Todd Yon.
Official kind of really wanting the clock to get started.
Now they started if they move the chains. And
thought he was going to throw his shoulder out there for a minute.
15 seconds is rolled off of it. Rolling far side is Peterson, completes a pass. It appears to be the number 3. The Boyette, yes it is. He picks up about 8 yards on first down. Give him 9.
And he is picked up, pushed out of bounds by number 20, DeCamry Kane.
Kane on the coverage forces him out of bounds. Clock is stopped with 3:21 in the third quarter. It's been all Lindale here in the second half. A nice fake punt for a pickup of 30-some-odd yards. In the next play, I think DJ hit his arm on somebody or something as he released it. And he's favoring it a little bit. And Corey Thomas Jr. is warming up. Trips near side, single receiver on the top. And they run it outside. And a nice pickup, and he breaks free. Jordan Jenkins is caught from behind by several Pirates and finally brought down at about the 31-yard line. 41 yards on the run for Jenkins, and now he's quickly approaching 200 for the evening.
Yeah, number 27, Sam Williams, able to run him down and make the touchdown-saving tackle.
Yes, he did. He had a couple other Pirates over there. I believe the other one was DeCamry Kane and quite possibly Turner, who's the corner on the far side. But huge chunks of yardage for Lindale, and they're on the march again. They have a man in motion, gets set, hand off to Jenkins. And he's hit after about a 2-yard gain at the 29. Clock will roll under 2:30, probably under about 2:20 before they take the next snap. And they are in total control at the moment, are the Eagles, leading 35-22. Marshall leads White House 21-0. Marshall is going to cop the district title tonight should Pine Tree fail to come from behind, no matter what happens next week in Marshall for Pine Tree. Twins to either side. They're going to roll right. They're going to hand it off, actually, to Jenkins, and he backs forward for about 2 or 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 5 upcoming from the 26. Sam Williams on the tackle for Pine Tree.
Still playing loose on the part of Pine Tree's defense, allowing them to pick up 3-4 yards at a time.
Come to the home side field front gate.
3rd down and 5. Lindale at the Pine Tree 27-yard line. Clock running under 1:30 before this snap. Twins to near side, one wide left. Back to pass is Peterson. Throws it over the middle. There's Boyette, but he's going to be caught, and he's not going to get the first down. He'll get about a yard, maybe 2 to the 25. So 4th down and 4 upcoming for Lindale. And they might as well go for it. You never know with them. Pine Tree needs to stop either way.
Yeah, and they've been very successful. This is just like another 3rd down for them. Number 7, Keith Wright, stepping up. He's been making his presence known, but he's going to need a lot of help from 10 other players.
Well, Lindale's running an assortment of, dashes over the middle and out patterns, and it's easy pickings for Peterson to get 5 to 7 yards when they do that. That time, Pine Tree held them to a short gain. Twins near side for Pine Tree's defense. They need to stop. Back to pass, play action, throws. It's going to be caught but out of bounds. That is an incomplete pass. Great defense by DeCamry Kane. Boyette caught the ball, but he landed out of bounds, and the Pine Tree defense answers with a stop with 41 seconds remaining in the 3rd stanza. Trailing here at home to Lindale, 35-22. And the new quarterback is coming in the game, I do believe. I don't see DJ just yet. Coach Lane is out there, and
number 12, Corey Thomas.
Corey Thomas Jr. comes out. He's the lefty. He's a senior, 5'9", 180. He's got a pretty good gun, too. Let's see if they go to the airwaves. Play action pass, got a receiver. It's Adams. Caught it. 1st down and more. Pick up 13 on the play from the 25 to the 38. Pine Tree is in business. Clock stopped. They move the chains at 35 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. 35, Lindale, 22, Pine Tree. I'll have to dig back to the stats and see Corey Thomas. He has played some earlier. Hadn't played the last few weeks, but he does have some stats. The Kilgore game, I know he came in and threw a couple of scores, maybe 3 even. Back to pass, the lefty throws, receiver's out, and he can't catch it. That's Adams again. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Just a little wide, had him open, but just a little bit to the right for Adams to catch up to.
2nd down and 10 upcoming for the Pirates. Nice crowd here on senior night. Pine Tree hosting Lindale. Lindale brings quite a few down I-20, about 44 miles away. Almost exactly, I think. I've driven that highway many, many, many times. Most of us have. Here we go. Twins top, one receiver near side, play action throw. It's JJ. It's off his hands and incomplete.
Thomas's pass just outside the reach of Sparkman.
It was catchable, though. It was catchable. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Not very tight coverage on any of the receivers against Pine Tree.
Of course, that's a left-hander throwing the ball, so the ball's got a different spin on it.
It's got a natural curve.
It does, too, and he can bring it. The kid's got a gun. Twins to the far side. One receiver is JJ. They're going to throw it back to him on a bubble screen, and he's caught and tackled by several Lindale receivers for defenders for no gain as the quarter ends. It'll be 4th and about 10 upcoming for Pine Tree. That was a very fast third quarter that Lindale dominated the score. Lindale 35, Pine Tree 22. You're listening to Pine Tree Football.
You should now be securing a ride home after the game. Once the game's ended and the school songs have been played, you'll see a 30-minute clock. It'll appear on the scoreboard, and it will give students that amount of time to leave the stadium, and the stadium parking lot. Those who have not left at the end of the 30-minute time limit will have their names taken down by administrators. So students, right now, begin securing your ride home.
Pine Tree with fourth down. Looks like they'll be in punt formation. That looks like it may be Freeman back on the field. Can't tell from here, but it looks like him. On a 4th and 10. And he's going to kick this one, and he does. It's a low liner, and it bounces right to the Lindale player at the 37. He's got the 45. That's Eric Williams. He's going to be wrestled down at about the 29-yard line. Number 23, Eric Williams. And look at him strut off the field. 25, 28-yard return, and he set his Eagles up in prime position for another score. They are looking good right now, are the Lindale Eagles.
Starting to tackle by grabbing the ball, trying to get a fumble, and that's not going to help him. He picked up another 6-7 yards just on the tackle by itself.
The punt was a line shot, one hop, fielded beautifully. It bounced right to him fortuitously, and he just took off upfield as several Pirates ran by him, not thinking he was going to field it. 1st and 10 at the 29 is Lindale. Quarterback keeps it. He's going to have an alleyway and finally brought down from behind by it looks like Livingston.
17, Sam Peterson on the keeper.
Peterson on the keeper for 14 yards to the 15. Livingston, number 40, made the tackle.
40 on the tackle, Ryan Livingston.
1st and 10, Lindale at the Pine Tree 15-yard line. Clock is just inside. 11 and a half minutes left in regulation. Lindale threatening to go up by 3 scores. They lead 35-22. And they're pretty good. Just as good as White House. And, they lost to White House 43-36. That must have been a good, really great game. Play action, roll back near side. Peterson throws. It's going to be over the intended receiver, stretched out.
Peterson's pass intended for number 11, Colton Beeler.
Colton Beeler, the intended receiver. He's just a little too short. Actually, he's real short. He might be 5'7" or 5'8", but he couldn't reach that one.
That's true, but he wasn't that far from not reaching. It was a great effort on his part.
Yes, it was. 2nd and 10 upcoming. One more first down, the 4th play of the current possession for the Eagles. And they're going to be patiently, methodically waiting. I'd just keep 17 on the field if I were the Cochrans, because he is pretty good as a sophomore. He's 6'3", about 175, a great athlete. Play action pass, receivers wide open over the middle, touchdown. That's Connor Boyette.
Connor Boyette for the touchdown. 6 points on the board.
15-yard touchdown pass, Peterson. Just as I called him off, he throws a bullet to a over the middle, unguarded actually, Connor Boyette, and he's hit right at the goal line for a touchdown. And it's 41-22. Lindale with a PAT upcoming to try to make it a 20-point lead. Snap is high, but it's brought down. The kick is up, and it is just inside the right upright as Lindale travels south to north. The new score with 11:02 remaining in regulation. Lindale 42, Pine Tree 22. You're listening to Pine Tree Pirate Football. Welcome back here to Pirate Stadium at Pete's Palace on the West Loop in Longview, Texas. Lindale has taken a commanding 20-point lead, 42-22, with another touchdown pass. Peterson to Connor Boyette, 4 plays, 29 yards in a minute, in just under a minute for Lindale. And so now Pine Tree has to answer to have any hope at all. They're going to answer and then try onside kicks probably to even get back in the game. High pooch kick is going to be Nakima Williams, and he gets run into, and there's a flag. He gets run into by a Lindale player. That's going to be an interference call against Lindale. They can motion that they have the ball all they want to. Pine Tree will have the ball near midfield after this flag.
Yeah, just as soon as the ball got there, he got hit.
Probably about a 2 count before the ball got there.
Yeah.
He should have put his hand up, fair catch, but he hit the ball. But there's a scrum for it. It doesn't matter. It's a penalty against Lindale, and they have every penalty in the game. Now the officials will sort it out.
Well, while the officials are getting acquainted with each other down there, here are some scores. Marshall over White House, 28-0. That's in the third quarter. Gladewater is over Sabine, 34-16. That's a surprise.
Kinda. Gladewater's really good at home, though.
And let me get your alma mater here.
Yeah,
Longview over Tyler Lee, 35-0 in the third quarter.
Yeah, they've opened it up.
And Mount Pleasant's finally pulled ahead of Jacksonville, 27-20, and that's in the third quarter as well.
What's that Marshall White House score again up there, buddy?
I know you want to hear it again.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
28-0.
Yes, 28-0.
So far.
And the Pirates get to go see those boys next week with their district championship hoisted high.
That is correct.
Unless Pine Tree can make a comeback. Because if they lose here, Marshall wins. Marshall is the undisputed district champion. No matter what happens, even if Pine Tree were to upset Marshall, and White House has lost to Marshall, so Marshall's going to be the 1 seed. Apparently, we can see now, we won't get too far, and White House is going to be the 2 seed. And so Pine Tree's got to make a comeback to not be the 4 seed. Whoa, here we go. First down at the 48-yard line of Lindale. The flag was marked off from the 37 to the 48. And DJ's back, and he's going to roll right, and he's going to have to run. He cuts up, and he's going to spin and make a nice move and pick up about 5 yards on first down. He's back in the game. Let's use his legs. Apparently, he just got a little whack on the arm when he threw that interception earlier. And they need a healthy DJ Freeman at all costs, no matter where or when they're playing. Nothing against Thomas. He hasn't had the playing time that DJ has.
That's correct. And the time he was in there, he did very well.
Yes, he did.
It's good to see that he's there and can come in.
Yes, he can.
Take that up.
Second down, 5 from the 44 for Pine Tree, running north to south. Inside, he busts up. He gets another room. He gets some room. He's got a first down. Can he get outside? No. He had the first down, then bounced back. They're going to give him the spot where he reached at the 37. Six yards on the gain. It's 1st and 10 for Pine Tree at the Lindale 37-yard line. Clock is running. We'll be under 10 minutes left in the ball game.
Have another match going the other direction. Nacogdoches is leading Hallsville 16-0.
Gotcha. Twins near side, one back set. Collins in the slot. Far side is JJ. Snap is bad. He picks it up anyway. Throws, got a receiver wide open. That's number 4. Terrell Collins from the slot gets a reception. That's been a while since he's caught one, but it's a 9-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 1 upcoming from Pine Tree. They just need to get in the end zone sooner rather than later. And then if I were Lane, I would try onside kicks. You have nothing else to lose but to get the ball back and keep the ball out of their hands offensively. Twins far side, wide receiver near side is JJ. They're offside.
They are.
And there's a flag, and Pine Tree's going to get a free play. He loses about 8 yards, but it's going to be an automatic first down for the Pirates as the linesman finally decides to find his flag in his rear end pocket and throw it. It's going to be a first down for Pine Tree.
What's that doing there?
Where was that? Where was that?
Where did it come from?
It came from his hip. He finally decided to throw a flag tonight. So somebody woke up at halftime. It'll be 1st and 10, Pine Tree at the 22-yard line. As the lineman, he probably heard several barking voices next to him. They're offsides, and they clearly were. DJ got eaten alive on about a 7-yard loss otherwise, but it was a free play and a no play and a first down for Pine Tree. They trail 42-22, 9 minutes. It'll be under 9 minutes with the next snap. Got to have a little sense of urgency here, guys. Trips far side of the field. JJ's on a smaller corner. I'd hang it up to him. Here we go. DJ rolls right. He's looking that way. Throws it short anyway. It's caught. And it's going to be a first down for Pine Tree. And there's a face mask. So it's going to be half a distance to the goal.
Freeman hits number 8, Nakima Williams.
Nakima Williams with a catch. And the corner out there scraped across his face mask. So it'll be at the 10. It should be a first and goal at the 5 for Pine Tree. We'll see.
Yeah, Lindale playing loose, giving them the middle. They're taking advantage of it.
The 8th play upcoming on the current possession for the Pirates. Every penalty in the ball game has been against the aggressors, the talon-waving Eagles. They have all 5 penalties by my count in the game.
Wouldn't it be touting?
Touting, flailing.
Yes.
You know, Eagles fly solidarily. They don't fly in flocks.
Well, they're not like geese.
Like the flock of seagulls.
Or geese.
Or geese. That's a band, Uncle Richard, from the 80s. So. Now, actually, it's against Pine Tree. Really? What did he do? He was all there by himself.
Well, they were having a conference at the 20 during that time.
He must have pushed off because the flag was thrown. Wow. This is bizarro. It's pass interference on the offense.
He was nowhere near a player. He was wide open.
I don't know. He marked it way back at the. How's that a 15-yard? That's a spot foul, guys. Come on, I know it better than they do. They marked it from the line of scrimmage. It's a spot foul. The foul happened at about the 17. That's a 20-yard penalty? Really? Oh, my goodness, you guys. They're getting paid for that? All right. First and 25 for Pine Tree. There's a handoff up the middle to Sheffield, and he picks up about 3 yards to the 34.
Sheffield on the carry, picking up a few yards.
Even if it were a pass interference, it's not a 15-yard penalty to begin with. It's a spot foul, and it's a 10-yard penalty. And these guys need to brush up on their jobs.
Still 23 to go.
Rolling right, trying to get away from defender. His DJ's going to throw it, complete it to, it looks like Collins. No, pardon me, that's Nakima. Pickup of about 3, so it's going to be third and
Another flag.
19 yards, probably holding on Pine Tree. All of a sudden, they're becoming the aggressors. The flag is inside the 29, so who knows? Who knows these head scratchers? Here we go.
Well, we're having a conference of officials. Did that not go to in-services?
Evidently, they don't know the rules. Clearly, they do not tonight. I can't be any more blunt. These guys are failing at officiating. I mean, this isn't hard, guys. Make up your minds. Let's go.
Well, it's unfortunate because every flag, they've had to have a conference after probably all but one flag.
Ineligible downfield. It's going to be declined. It'll be third and 19 upcoming for Pine Tree. I don't know. The play started at the 32. The flag's thrown at the 29. Just how far downfield was he? 3 yards? Really?
Would have had to have been one of the
It had to be a
leftmost linemen that thought the run was going, and he moved on down. Didn't seem.
Well, they were all in the backfield trying to free DJ.
Come in this direction.
So I think the umpire is mightily confused. Man. Third and forever for Pine Tree. They'll be going for it on fourth down here if they don't get a first down or score. Twins near side, one receiver top is JJ. Back to pass, here comes the rush, he gets away. DJ's running. He's got the 25, the 20. He's going to come around. Oh, and he's caught short of the first down with a great shoestring tackle. But he picks up about 16 yards. It's going to be 4th and 3 upcoming for Pine Tree. A great shoestring tackle. I didn't get the number.
Number 11, Gabe Adams, out there standing
who
in the
made
way
the
at the right
tackle?
spot. I didn't see on the tackle.
Looked like 28, but I could be wrong. Nonetheless, a great play by Lindale, and we're going to have a timeout. Lindale's calling it as Pine Tree off 4th and 4. 4th and 3 upcoming from the 16 will set the stage. Lindale's up by 20, 42-22. The play has been slowed down tremendously by 5 blind mice on the field. They cannot make up their mind, and goodness gracious, I don't know which is worse. A couple weeks ago in Nacogdoches are these guys that are just totally confused. And they're having a meeting now at the 16 to get a little water drink. Anyway, I've been critical enough, but it's really obvious. Don't be so obvious when you can't do your job. I'm doing my job. I'm exerting more energy up here, and so are you.
Well, we try.
We try hard.
Yeah, we do.
It's almost a calamity of errors. And they have to convene every time. The one official throws a flag, he's the only one that needs to talk to the white hat, period. I'm not going to even name their names again because they're not worthy. 7:13 remains, fourth quarter. Pine Tree has to get a first down, then a score. I would roll DJ out and let him run. Outside, guys. Here we go. Here they come with the blitz. DJ throws, got a receiver open. It's caught on a knee for a first down. And that is J.J. Sparkman. A pickup of 7 yards on the pass play. That's the 10th play of the current possession. And Pine Tree has used almost 4 minutes of the clock. Twins near side. Good practice. Here we go. Up the middle. Sheffield. Bottled up at the line of scrimmage, maybe one. They're just not doing it inside, guys. Got to run outside. Here we go. Second and goal from the 8. Pine Tree's got to get in the end zone. I throw number 1 top. He's got a shorter guy on him. Just wave it up there. It's fumbled and dropped, and Pine Tree falls on it. DJ didn't get the snap really well. And it's going to be a loss back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be third and goal. Actually, they can get a first down at the 2. Well, it's 13, okay? They had the ball at the 9, so it is third and goal at the 13. Twins near side. J.J. Sparkman top. Throw, they go to him. He gets hit before the ball gets there, no flag.
No flag.
It'll be fourth down and goal. He didn't get covered up. He got interfered with. He got hit before the ball even came, and there's no flag. Well, this game cannot end fast enough for the officials from the Tyler chapter. They are not good. Fourth down and goal from the 13. Get it together, RJ. Yes, sir. Fourth and goal from the 13. Pine Tree's got it. I'd go to JJ again. And this time, if he hits him early, they got to throw a flag, please. Back to pass DJ. He's going to run it. He gets outside. Can he make it? No, he's not going to. He's going to get hit at the 4 and run out of bounds. Good attempt and great effort from DJ, but the blitz was up upon him quickly. He had to make a decision, and he ran it. He picks up 10 yards on the play, but it 13-play drive goes for nothing. 6 minutes, 2 seconds left in the ball game, and the Eagles are up 42-22 with an assist from the Tyler chapter, without question. Four-yard line, Lindale takes over, leading. Back to pass is caught at the 3. That's number 22, and watch him go. He's at the 30. He's at midfield. There goes Jordan Jenkins. 2 Pirates are there. One finally brings him down. Turner and Sam. I can't tell. Sam Williams and Turner finally wrestle him down. 46. That is a 71-yard pass play from Peterson to Jordan Jenkins. The running back takes the screen and finds daylight and gets 71 yards for Lindale. They're in business again, making it look easy. Pine Tree is just out of gas on defense. Credit, great play calling by the Cochrans across the way, and even better execution. Lindale's getting it done. Handoff Jenkins. He can't be tired yet, can he? He bulls for it for about 4 on the first down play. Pirate loses his helmet.
Number 54, Rashad Livingston, in on the tackle that time.
Looks like number 40 is going to have to leave the field for Pine Tree. Or 48. Yeah, that's
Mark Daniels.
Mark Daniels, the sophomore, lost his hat, and he's got to come off for a play. 2nd and 6 from the 21-yard line, for Lindale. Clock is now under 5 minutes left in the ball game, and the Eagles are cruising tonight to a 42-22 lead. It's a 14-0 second half, and they're knocking on the door for more at the 21. Pass play, wide receiver's wide open. He picks up about 6 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 1 upcoming for Lindale.
Yeah, that's been easy pickings for the Eagles all night tonight. That little short pass, about 8 yards out, and that has
just no coverage.
Nope.
You got to play on a man. You can't be 8 to 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. But anyway, it is what it is, and it's happening, and Lindale's making it happen, much to their credit. They are dominating the line of scrimmage and winning the football game, just taking it to Pine Tree. Pine Tree's played hard senior night. They've given great effort, but they don't have an answer for the line of scrimmage or the officiating, for crying out loud. Wow. Peterson keeps it. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage for a yard loss. That's Dallas Dixon, I think, and a couple others. 44 there on the stop.
On the keeper, hit hard by number 44, Dallas Dixon.
So clock is going to roll at 3:30 and a timeout, I guess, for Lindale. Pine Tree called it. That's their first charge of the second half. They trailed 42-22 here in a game where Lindale, after falling behind 13-0, made a nice scoring drive, then got a Pine Tree turnover, and it's been downhill really ever since for the Pirates.
Ended the half great, but couldn't capitalize it on the way out. It's, the adjustments that you think they would make, they just haven't. The secondary is still open. The gaps are opening up on the line, and they have no answer for it. And they're going to have to get that if they have any, if they want to have any chance against Marshall next week. They're going to have to do something, and it may be that you have kids sick. It may be that somebody's not. They're going to have to make adjustments going into that postseason play.
And they got Savion Williams, who was a wide receiver. He's committed to Arkansas to play wide out for the Razorbacks. He was moved in an emergency role after about the 3rd game from wide receiver to quarterback, and Marshall is going to be 6-0 ever since. And he's 6'4", 190, and he can run like the wind. And I imagine he's eating some Wildcat feed tonight there in White House.
He probably is. I know you're going to be glad to hear me say this.
It's not about being glad. It's about
Marshall,
making the
I know,
unfortunately.
Marshall is up 28-0 in the 4th quarter. So.
Trips left. They're going to have another illegal substitution and get away with it. Oh, no. Boyette runs in motion. He stops. They're trying to figure out what play they're going to run. Trips near side, one receiver top. It's going to be a handoff to Jenkins, and he's bouncing forward for the first down. On the 4th and 2, he picks up 4, and Lindale's going to keep this drive alive. They started their own 4. This will be their 6th play upcoming on the possession. They're on way for a 96-yard cruise control touchdown.
Yeah, number 26, Greg Kalulu, stepping up to make the tackle on that play.
Well, Pine Tree will be playing for pride next week, and they're still playoff bound. But, oh, mercy. That's going to be a long drive to College Station, I'm afraid. Here we go. Twins near side, up the middle. Quarterback sneak. They may just be content to go and run the clock on out. If Pine Tree uses their timeouts, a gain of about 3 yards.
Bringing him down, Colt
Munoz on the tackle along with Butler up the middle for Pine Tree. It'll be 2nd and 8 yards at the 11.
Yeah, Lindale had to come in tonight with the wind going out to get that number 4. And it looks like they had 3, but they wanted to get the 4th win to lock them in.
For 3rd place.
And
this is for 3rd place.
Correct. But they wanted to get that 4th win, which would lock them in.
True that. 2nd and 7 from the 10. There goes a big man, Jordan Jenkins, rambling. And we're going to have a face mask probably, or a hold, whichever one we see. The back judge throws them flag from the back of the end zone to the 5. He threw a dart. And
probably,
that was
probably going to be a face mask on that play. That's what it appeared to be.
They were reaching and clawing. It's going to be half a distance to the goal and an automatic first down. It would have been first down anyway.
Number 27.
And the penalties on Sam Williams trying to make a tackle with great effort in vain. Grabs a hold of the face mask of Jordan Jenkins. It's 1st and goal to goal for the Lindale Eagles. Clock stopped at 2:14 remaining in the game, and they're in cruise control are the Eagles. Lindale is going to go to 4-2, and Pine Tree will drop to 4-2 in district play. And it's going to take Pine Tree winning next week and Lindale losing to Pine Tree to avoid the 4th place spot.
And I have a piece of information I need
They are going to be in the playoffs, but it could be a long road trip down to play A&M Consolidated. Up the middle, and he's going to dive in for the touchdown. Does Jordan Jenkins from 2 yards out. Touchdown, Lindale. The icing on the cake, the coup de grace, whatever you want to call it. 146 remains, and they're up 48-22 here at the Palace in Pine Tree over the Pirates.
Yeah, Lindale travels to Jacksonville next week with Pine Tree at Marshall.
Correct.
And the White House at Hallsville.
Hallsville, and Nacogdoches is going to take a long trip to Mount Pleasant. Long trip. That's 120 miles. Kick up, kick is good. 7 touchdowns, 7 extra points. The new score, 146 remains. Lindale, 49, Pine Tree, 22. This is Pine Tree Football on YouTube. We'll be right back. Resuming play here, 146 remains. And we were a little discussing the officiating, but I'm just, you know what, from this moment on, I'm not saying another word about them. They're not worthy of speak. Here we go. It's a fact. Here we go. Pooch kick is high. Nakima's got his hand up, and he fields it cleanly at the 37.
Fair catch by number 8, Nakima Williams.
Nakima Williams fields it. Pine Tree comes back on the field trailing by 4 scores at 49-22. It was a great ball game. It's been a good ball game, been entertaining. It's been a little
interesting.
Things that make you go, like, those guys are getting paid tonight. They're getting the gate receipt. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything more.
You know, there's been a lot of things said about this around the district this year. And not just this game, not just Nacogdoches, and not only varsity games, sub-varsity as well. So if there's some changes being made, somebody needs to look at it. And that's –
well, you know.
And that's an objective opinion on my part.
DJ throws. He's got his receiver. He's hit before the ball gets there. No flag. 18 is there. He plays the ball, but he hits Sparkman before the ball gets there. No flag. Because the line judge has been.
He just thought they were good friends and they were hugging each other, I guess.
He's thrown one flag, and it took him forever to pull that out.
Well, I think he's lost it in his pocket.
Yeah, he may have. Here we go. Second down.
Either that or he's just lost it.
And 10 from now he's going to – Coach Lane's going to call a timeout. And he's got some questions for his offense. He's mad. Oh, he's going to come up here in a little bit too. Woo, that's going to be fun. Here we go. It was set the stage. 139 remains. It's been really the worst second half of the year for Pine Tree. No question about it.
It has been, and I'm going to go back and revisit this because if you have the opportunity to watch the sub-varsity games, and I'll be real honest, I'm one to say, yeah, it's a personal, it's a human part of the game that is there. But this has come up in 7th grade ball, 8th grade ball, 9th grade ball, and at varsity, the officiating. So evidently, and is it a rule change that they're not getting? Is it a chapter's not educating? Whatever it is, there's something, but it's been consistent across all of the team play that we've seen at least here.
Right. Well, the Nacogdoches game, that's a different chapter. They're from the SFA chapter, but they were horrendous. And these guys tonight just don't know the rules. DJ hands it off to Sheffield. He gets a big run. He's going to pick up about 15 yards to just past midfield. That should get him over 100 yards for the game. Stats are irrelevant now. Pine Tree just needs to hustle down and make something positive happen here to wind this game down where they trail 49-22. Back to pass DJ. Pumps, throws, got a receiver. It's number 1, JJ. Going to go for about 17 yards on the slant. Pass was perfect by DJ. DJ came in at 1,700 yards on the season passing, 15 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He's got 2 touchdowns and a pick tonight. So he's at 17-3. He runs it, quarterback draw. He picks up about 7 or 8, gets away. He's going to have a first down or right near it. Pick up of 10 yards or right at it. They're going to wave it first down as the field judge, the line judge on the far side is going to call it a first down. And he's down again. We'll talk about our sponsors for Pine Tree Athletics and Pine Tree Independent School District as well. Across the way, of course, Longview Regional Med Center, Quick Care as well, Patterson Nissan on US 259 here in Longview, East Texas Professional Credit Union, 3 locations to serve Longviewites. Chick-fil-A has 3 locations as well, 1 in the mall and 2 on the loop on northeast and the south or west loop. Texas Bank and Trust has multiple locations in the Longview, East Texas area. Mr. Palea, he's a well-known longtime attorney downtown Longview on Tyler Street. If you need him for any accident or anything, he is pretty good. And then, of course, the Ford dealership, longtime Pegues Hurst. Sell the best Ford trucks on the planet. Well, I'm partial to Chevys, but Fords are great trucks nonetheless, and thank them for their sponsorship as well for Pine Tree Athletics. As Pine Tree will have lefty coming in, Corey Thomas, as DJ is helped off the field, and that's all we'll say about that.
We also remember Juicy's Taco, McDonald's. Don't want to forget Texas Oncology. I was over there today. Dr. Koya and all the others. They do a great service for everyone.
Gotcha.
Give them a shout out. Great group of doctors there.
Azalea Orthopedics.
Longview Scrap and Metal.
Whataburger of Longview, where there's like 7 locations. There's a bunch. Some of the best burgers in the house. Here we
Absolutely.
go. Trips near side. One back set is Sheffield next to Corey Thomas Jr. He rolls left and he gets sacked. And he's brought down quickly. The ball pops loose, but he's down. Did he throw the ball? They're calling it an incomplete pass. Wow. Folks, he was tackled, but hey, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't understand that play.
The official, the white hat, rules incomplete. He's in the grasp. He's being tortured down to the ground, and he throws it away. And there's no flag. It's an incomplete pass. We'll take it 2nd and 10. Back to pass. Thomas throws. High, incomplete over the intended receiver, Gabe Adams. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say there's no arm motion on that last play. He was down. They pulled the ball out from him.
It should have been about an 8-yard loss and whistled down on a sack. But the whole crew is just, gosh, I'm going to try to be nice. Oh, it's tough. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, come on, guys. You're getting paid for this. You're getting paid. Here we go. Thomas back to pass, the lefty throws, and he's going to throw it way over everything and incomplete. And it'll be 4th down and coming for Pine Tree. A little more practice time for Corey Thomas Jr.
Looks like it was intended for Sparkman.
The pass was out of bounds. Sparkman's going to run like a wheel route outside, and he's pretty much held up inside the 5-yard limit, if you want to call it that. They're not throwing any flags on legitimate calls anyway. Whew, mercy.
Need to go right side, coming across the middle.
Yep. Here we go. Back to pass. Thomas throws. It's going to be caught by Gabe. No, it's intercepted. What a great play. It was a little low and inside of Gabe Adams, and it's intercepted.
Yeah. Great play. He was going for it and had the ball taken away from him.
Yeah, it was low and down around his knees, and it was a little bit behind him, and the corner back behind him stayed with him and made the interception.
Yeah,
they're going to mark the ball to 24.
Great play.
They're calling it an incomplete pass. He certainly intercepted it.
He called an interception back here from the end zone.
Well, the ball should be where he dropped the ball at the 7 or 6, but they're giving Lindale the ball at the 24 as if it's an incomplete pass.
So it was 4th down. So.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Well,
You're right. They're calling it an incomplete pass, and it was an interception.
Yes. Even called that way in the back.
And that'll be the ball game as they take a knee. Lindale. The Lindale Eagles have traveled here to Pine Tree, and Pine Tree's lost 2 in a row at home. Lindale 49, Pine Tree 22. Lindale scores all 3 times in the second half. with a 21-0 second half as we had a 6-point ball game. And Lindale has won here 49-22, Brett.
So they invaded the crow's nest on the ship.
I suppose they
I
took.
would say that's the case.
There's a couple.
And they played a great game. I mean, all kidding aside, they
Right.
did. They played a great game. They were very well prepared. Cochran's did a great job.
And their staff, right.
And they did, and they made the great calls when they needed to, and they executed. And at the same time, Pine Tree has that same difficulty. We saw that last week with the secondary on the defense. And that's really what made the difference there. The quarterback coming through the middle and going around side, and there you go.
And also number 22.
Yes.
Big guy, Jordan Jenkins, without a doubt, was probably well over 200 yards in the ball game. I'll get stats together for my good friend George Whitley, who will convene in a few minutes. He helped out at halftime with the stats as he does, and we come upon agreement. The agreement here is that Lindale is going to finish no worse than third. It's going to take a miracle, well, for them to lose to Jacksonville, number one, which they could, but Pine Tree's going to have to go to Marshall and win if they want to avoid playing the top seed from District 5A Division II, which is the A&M Consolidated Tigers of A&M of College Station, Texas. And they came in tonight 8-0 in the season, and they have like a dozen D1 players, and they are for real. And Pine Tree, though, it's been a great season. Senior night, not like it went as planned, but they played hard. They just ran against a team that controlled the line of scrimmage when it came right down to it.
Very much so.
And much to the credit of Lindale, with everything aside, Lindale deserves this win. They're 4-2 in district play. Pine Tree falls to 4-2. They are tied, but Lindale will have the upper seed if things go as planned next week. And, just a great, Jordan Jenkins was too much along with Sam Peterson when it came right down to it. And their defense just stopped the run in the middle.
Yeah.
Pine Tree really couldn't do anything up the middle at all. So.
Right, and we've seen that 2 weeks in a row, and honestly, that's not a good thing to see going into Marshall and going further from there. So they're going to need to make those adjustments if they can, and we'll see what happens next week.
It's really assignment-based football. Frankly, the defensive line is really small when it comes right down to it, facing big offensive lines. No excuse. Linebackers have to stay at home, watch the ball, not watch the fake, and the safeties do as well. And it just comes down to assignment football.
Correct.
And just outmanned, and that's just all there is to it. Nothing more you can say. We'll have Coach up here in about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll take a break for a few, and I'll get some stats, and we'll be back with more Pine Tree football. The final score, Lindale 49, Pine Tree 22. This is Pine Tree football. We'll be right back. Back here live at Pirate Stadium in Longview with the final score tonight. The Lindale Eagles have defeated the Pine Tree Pirates by the score of 49-22. I'm Randy Johnson. Alongside me is my color analyst, Brett Conway. And Brett, statistically, a little help and a little assist with Mr. George Whitley of the Longview News Journal. We came up with some final stats, and here we go. In the ball game, Lindale had 21 first downs, Pine Tree with 20. Lindale with 38 carries for 316 yards on the ground. Pine Tree with 29 carries for 269 on the ground. Lindale was 17 of 25 with 2 touchdowns for 246 yards in the air. Pine Tree is 11 of 26 with 2 touchdowns and an interception in the ball game. Total offense, let me see, double check this real quick. Pine Tree had 170 passing, my bad, and a grand total of 449 yards in offense. Lindale had 316 rushing, 246 passing. That's 562 yards of offense. They ran 61 offensive plays to Pine Tree's 53. So they ran 7 more offensive plays. And Pine Tree ran quite a few on the last drive that went for nothing. They ran 13 plays and went for about 70 yards and didn't score. And they had to settle for a field goal earlier. So there's 2 possessions where you get 3 points and no points. And, of course, they had a fumble, 1 fumble and interception as well that hurt them. But it was the line of scrimmage where Lindale won the game.
Correct.
Pretty clearly. Individual statistic, the leading ground gainer in the ball game is Jordan Jenkins, 22 carries, 221 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And he was outstanding, especially in the second half. We had the big 65-yard run in the first half, and then a 43-yard touchdown run, and then a 2-yard run, but a 71-yard run that flipped the field from the 4-yard line all the way to Pine Tree's 25. And
it was a great punt.
Well, essentially, it was a great run,
yeah.
And that was part of his 221 yards on the ground. So 2 consecutive weeks, the Pine Tree defense has allowed 2 big ground gainers. Last week it was White House quarterback Caden Casey with 278 yards, and this week it's Jordan Jenkins with 221 on 22 carries. Quarterback Sam Peterson was 12 carries for 85 yards and a score, the 24-yarder. So that's their 306, pretty much those 2 guys alone. Eric Williams had 2 carries for 7 yards as well. Passing the football, Peterson played the predominant part of the game. I think Poe relieved him for like 2 different possessions, maybe 3. But Peterson is 17 of 24 for 246 and 2 touchdown passes. And, of course, the 1 interception before halftime. Pine Tree came in with a +7 in the game. They leave the game at +5 on the turnover ratio. But at the line of scrimmage, Lindale clearly early in the game began to assert themselves. After they fell behind 13-0, they began to dominate the middle interior of the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. And, statistics say a lot. The game was fairly close up until the end of the third quarter in terms of a statistical review. But Pine Tree was unable to score at all in the second half. It's the first time all season where they have not scored in the second half. They lost to Pittsburgh in week 2 here, and I believe they scored 1 touchdown in the second half. Mr. Whitley was going to look that up, but he thinks they did. They lost that game 42-30. But this is their worst loss of the season, a lopsided 49-22 loss to Lindale, and Lindale now sits in position to have the 3rd seed in the district play. Since they did lose to White House, it could be pretty much decided unless Pine Tree wins next week. I mean, Marshall's the district champion. Undisputed, they are the district champion with their win tonight at White House. They're 6-0 in district. White House is 5-1, and both Pine Tree and Lindale are 4-2. But Pine Tree is in the precarious position. They're going to need to win next week and hope Jacksonville beats Lindale to avoid traveling to College Station in 2 weeks to play A&M Consolidated, who's the number 1 seed in that district, unless they were upset. They're 8-0 coming in. But sometimes 8-0 loses, like Sabine lost tonight to Gladewater, or was getting beat pretty handily at Jack Murphy Stadium on the campus of Gladewater High School by the Bears. And Coach there was at Longview for a long time as an assistant. He's a great math teacher and science teacher as well, John Barry. Coach Barry leads. He's in his 6th season at Glaywater. So, but here, you just run into a team that just wins the line of scrimmage war and also takes advantage of what the defense gives them, which was a lot of short pass completions.
Yeah, they needed to win tonight, and they came in knowing that they needed to win tonight to not have any question another week as far as playoffs go. And great execution on their part. You're right. Gladewater over Sabine 40-16. That is a final.
Yeah, give us some final scores there. We got a few minutes. Coaches, be up here in just a little bit, and no big hurry on that. We got plenty of time, and take a few minutes with Coach Lane when he gets up here.
Do we have Marshall over at White House, 35-8? Now they're saying that's the 4th quarter, but I'm pretty sure by now they have finished that game. Like I said, Gladewater over Sabine 40-16. That is a final score. Longview final over Tyler Lee 49-7. Nacogdoches over Hallsville 43-6. Bobcats did come up with a score at some time.
NAC with a big win, their 2nd district win, and so they'll avoid the cellar. Hallsville is going to be awarded, is going to earn the cellar, and that's a coach that's been there a couple years. He was a state champion at Mineola.
Yeah.
And he's coming in, I believe, his 3rd season there. They've had some rough sledding, and it's about numbers. It's about players. Pine Tree beats them 32-7 to start district play, and they are definitely Hallsville's going to be winless in district because White House is going to go there next week pretty upset. I would think, and they'll have to win. They'll have to win too to finish 2nd. But no, they have 2nd clinch because they own wins against both Lindale and Pine Tree.
It's
pretty
Marshall
much
first
set.
Second.
Pine Tree upsets Marshall and Lindale loses to Jacksonville. Then Pine Tree will be the 3rd seed. But that's the only way that can happen.
That's correct.
It's the way it's looking.
Jacksonville was holding their own pretty good against Mount Pleasant, but final score there, Mount Pleasant did come back 33-27, so 6-point difference there.
So the Tigers come in and win at the Tomato Bowl on the reservation, and they escape with the maidens and they burn down the teepee.
They burned down the teepee.
Yeah.
And over here we had the crow's nest encroached upon here
by the eagles, by the flock of eagles.
That's right.
Not the flock of seagulls, but the flock of that's a pop band from the 80s with Iran. I'm not going to sing it because I don't sing that well. But
please don't.
And I ran. Okay.
No.
I ran all night.
We have to turn the mic down.
No, that's quite all right. That's enough. I think everybody that's listening, all 200 people or whatever, are probably getting a good laugh at. I'm a better speaker than I am a singer.
I'm
going to
be quiet, so I think I am too. But no, game that the Pirates really needed to. They didn't need to win. They wanted to win. They were already in the playoffs, but they were looking at a seeding where Lindale had to come in. They did need to win to, completely put them into the postseason play. But unfortunate for the Pirates. Unfortunate that we've seen the same thing, and it's easy to see it from up here.
Sure.
But it's unfortunate that the same thing a couple of weeks in a row, and hopefully they'll take care of things this week. So I know they're still working on getting some kids healthy, but at the same time, you had some missed coverage down there, especially in the secondary on the short passes.
Well, the good thing about playoffs, I know you can let your sub-varsity teams travel with you, and they may not get any JV or ninth grade players on the field, obviously, but it would be a good experience, and they're gonna hit the road regardless, whether it's at A&M Consolidated or whether it's in Katy or wherever it's going to be. The Pirates will be in the playoffs, and they'll be on the road.
And we'll be there.
And we'll be there bringing you live. Yes, regardless. Much is said about what we went on and on about the officials. And, you made a mention, and I think it really, to me, it's a lack of knowledge on the field, which is a training issue. If you want to be really blunt, if the guys are going to do the job and get paid to do the job, learn everything you can learn, everything you need to know about officiating. I've been around the game my whole life. I've never officiated. I umpired Little League Baseball for several years as a youngster. That's not hard. It really isn't. But officiating, it really comes down to being fair and impartial and not to be blind to obvious issues that are happening in front of you. You have to do your job. A couple weeks ago in Nacogdoches, you weren't there, but they were so flag happy, and they were obviously mistaking yard lines, and those are just intrinsically wrong things. And we look tonight, and we've just got officials that just weren't paying attention or didn't know when to blow a whistle.
Well, and like we discussed earlier, it's not only the varsity games, and I don't mean to make or to make bad about what's going on, and certainly not this game, because you try to be fair. But here again, this is something that has happened at other schools. The other schools have comments as well on the same thing. Different teams in different games that did not involve Pine Tree, and it's just interesting that when you have the opportunity to see the sub-varsity games, and you see that same thing happen, you expect it in a 7th and 8th grade game, because those are usually your officials that are new, and they have questions, and so they're bringing them along. But when you start seeing the same thing up in the JV games and the varsity games, and it's the same thing week to week. Well, not week to week, but every other week. So,
yeah, and those things clearly you mentioned, and you can take those with pause, and but you get on a 5A level, you need to have competency on the field, and to make light of it. When they're misjudging where the ball, where a flag is thrown. For example, the pass interference on Pine Tree, that is a spot foul. That's not a foul from the line of scrimmage. It's where it happened. And it was like 8 yards down the field or 9 yards down the field, and the Pine Tree player caught the ball and was pushed out of bounds. I thought at first it was a face mask, but it was not, or it came back. But instead of marking it from the 12 to the 22, they marked a 15-yard penalty from a yard marker that didn't exist at the 22 to the 37, because Pine Tree had the ball at the 17-yard line, not the 22-yard line. They were totally the judge that made the call, and 4 of them got together, and they still got it wrong. That's where the white hat needs to intervene and say, no, this is the way it is, because he is the crew chief, after all, and it doesn't take – it's just – and he was really mistaken several times, like the one time when Lindale runs a player off the field after they've broken the huddle. That's a clear penalty. But he allowed them to come on out. He waved them forward and changed it out and didn't throw a flag. And Kerry Lane's going ballistic because it's a clear penalty for an illegal substitution. That is officiating 101, and they – other times, there were false start. They called the one offside, which was clear. The line judge found the hanky in his pocket on the near side and finally threw a flag. And, there were obvious calls. They didn't throw a lot of flags, but it's just that they were asleep. They were just non-existent, and sometimes they need to be existent because you never know what a 5-yard penalty can do to a possession.
That's correct.
You just never know. And it killed Pine Tree's possession because it went from 2nd and 10 before the penalty to a 2nd and 33. How do you get 23 yards out of a penalty? Well, they spotted it wrong to begin with. And anyway, it's kind of ad nauseum going through it. But you make a great – I mean, there's no official probably listening to us right now. And if there are, maybe they agree. I've got officiating friends, and maybe they're leaving, and they're picking me up. And I know I'm not going to mention names, but I know several really, really well. And they're probably like, wow, you had that in your game tonight? Really? Yeah, we had just a lot of non-existent officiating, and just they were silent. And sometimes you have to make a point to make. And you're not going to make every call properly. And you could call holding on every single play. Mm-hmm. On an offensive line, you could throw a flag ad nauseum. And I'm sure there are some games out there where there's 35 penalties and 15 on one team. I remember looking at a stat line for Duncanville and DeSoto last year, 37 penalties thrown in that. And I guarantee you most of them were for fighting and/or because those two are rivals that hate. I mean, they're like 4 miles apart. They're big 6A schools, and I'll promise you they dislike each other. And it came out on the field. There probably were ejections. There were like 37 penalties, like 21 on one team and 16 on the other. And the score was like 45-38, and Duncanville won the game because they went undefeated until they lost the state title game to North Shore out of Galena Park, or East Houston, as they like to say. And they lost the state championship game, and they were undefeated. They were 15-0 and lost on a Hail Mary. That was the game after the Longview game. But they beat DeSoto by a touchdown, I believe, or 10 points, and there was 37 penalties. We had 7 or 8 in this one, maybe 10. But it's the ones that they missed.
Well, and it's very telling, at least I think it's very telling, that the flag is thrown and then you have a conference. And if you have a conference that's taking a minute, 2 minutes, it doesn't seem like very long. But if you if you add those up, and especially on a drive, if you've got a conference between officials, you're killing the drive for whichever team is going on.
Right.
And you just can't have that. And
right.
It's easy. It's easy to pick that apart, but I mean,
right.
conference. No, you should know before going into the game.
As broadcasters, it's generally a cardinal sin to make it noticeable, but you can't help but state the fact that it affects the ball game. Would Pine Tree have won the game? Probably not. I mean, let's just say Lindale was the better team, clearly, but there are points in the game where there are issues that happen. And there was not happening for the home team. There was absolutely no home cooking here. It was a Tyler chapter, which is fine. But, if you see obvious penalties, you need to throw a flag. You don't welcome a player on the field from the opposition when clearly the other player the huddle is broken and they're at the line of scrimmage. And you welcome him on the field and don't throw a flag. That was the most egregious of the whole night. But anyway, just get a message from Mr. Yon that coach is not making it up here. Actually, he sent it 6 minutes ago, and then he just tried to call me, and we're too busy talking about officiating and the lack of training. That's where it all starts. And I think you hit the nail on the head with the lower divisions in the 7th and 8th grade. But we'll wrap it up here. The final once again from Pirate Stadium in Longview. Lindale 49, Pine Tree 22. You've been listening to Pine Tree Pirate Football, and for my cohort here, Mr. Brett Conley and our
Conway, and we'll see
Conway.
y'all next
I'm
week.
sorry, there is a Brett Conley that exists. Really, there is. He's a singer, and
I'm not going to sing.
but he's a pretty good one. You're the philosopher, though.
Although I am a choir director, but I'm not going to sing for you on the radio.
Well, I bet you sing a great bass.
I have a baritone voice.
Oh,
yes.
baritone. There we go.
Yes.
All right. Final score here once again. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Todd. The final. Coach is not coming up, and I don't blame him. Pine Tree 49. They lost 49-22 to Lindale. The Eagles win, and they have a happy, joyous trip back down I-20 to the west, some 45 miles away in Smith County. Congratulations, Lindale Eagles, and congratulations to the seniors of the Pine Tree Independent School District. Band, drill team, cheer, everywhere and everything in the student body. Once again, the final, Lindale 49, Pine Tree 22. We'll see you next week at 7:15 p.m. in Marshall, Texas, where the Pine Tree Pirates travel to play the Marshall Mavericks, who are the district champions. That is all. Everyone have a great weekend and a good evening. Goodbye, everybody.